Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Ask a Scientist Gaming, where we combine mediocre gameplay with expert science. I'm Ken Hansen, Associate Professor in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry at Florida State University. I'm a photochemist/photophysicist. I shine light on molecules and materials and hopefully do something useful with that light energy. But step one is understanding what happens to that light energy, tracking if it moves electrons or energy around or makes or breaks bonds. But more importantly, joining me today is Dr. Hank Bass. Hank, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
Hello, everybody. I'm Hank Bass. I'm a biology professor. I study maize genetics and chromosome behavior and gene regulation and anything to do with DNA and RNA.
What do you typically teach?
So I typically teach genetics, undergraduate genetics, and molecular biology, plant molecular biology, and also plant cytogenetics.
And that's the graduate class?
Yeah, it's kind of a mix. The advanced molecular biology is an annual graduate course. It's a first year course for incoming students. The genetics is large. There's a number of us that teach genetics. It's kind of a core course for pre-med majors.
I see. Yeah.
So we have multiple sections per semester of general genetics.
How big's that class?
It depends on what room you agree to teach in. So it can be up to several hundred, or the smallest one's about 150. So they're big groups.
Oh, I want to teach in a break room.
Yeah.
Give me 10 people.
Yeah.
All right. Equally important, what game are we starting with?
We're starting with a game called Bugdom, which is a game that I found as a free game that I could play on a Macintosh with my kids when I was younger. So I haven't seen it or played it in over 20 years, but we loved it. My kids tell me it's still one of the best games out there. So I can't believe you found it.
Oh,
there it is.
So it's freeware, actually.
Is it?
The production company, they made it open access. So anyone can download this and play this. But yeah, let's click on start.
Yeah, I think my biology is what attracts me to this game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bugs that I don't mind. Okay, level 1.
So let's do it.
Of course, I haven't played in a while. I'm just going to click my way through.
Caldwell, welcome. Thank you for the follow. That's awesome. First time chat. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Little Lion. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for joining. I'm assuming these are some of your students who you informed today. And our family and friends. Narwhal Ball. What are maize genetics? Before we dive into those questions, we will give Hank some time to settle into this game. He hasn't played for, 15 years, probably? Plus or minus. So what phase were you in your academic career when you were doing this game?
Assistant professor.
Yeah, it was the good old days.
Oh, no.
Of stress.
Get away from these things. Yeah. This was my release. Of course, I never got past level 1 or 2 or 3, but according to you, see how fast it goes? Oh,
Yeah.
set those
Ladybugs
free.
Yeah.
So you just kick everything. It's a kicking game. So I played a lot of soccer as a kid, so natural. Kick that thing. Oh, no, it's a mite. Get away from the mites. Okay, there's a clover. Yum. There's one over there.
Oh, that is amazing.
So before you take what's in the...
So have your kids played this since?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
man. And they beaten it?
No, I don't think so. Well, I think they did, actually. Yeah.
So if anyone wants to know, there's a cheat on this. If you do ~F3, ~F4, or Apple F3, Apple F4, you get full health and full bug energy. I don't know what the green bar is. It lets you spin fast or something like that. So
that's something I didn't know. So I wish I knew that 25 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I think. A lot of these, old Nintendo games, you need to know one
there's
trick.
a mite. I hate mites.
If you have one trick, you can beat the game. And if you don't know that trick, you're screwed.
Before the internet, we couldn't cheat easily. Unless you knew somebody.
There's also no easy settings on a lot of our games.
Yeah.
It's just all or nothing.
What's that up there? Oh, more mites. I'm getting away from those. Caldwell is one of the students I interact with from Purdue.
Oh, that's fun.
And she is at NASA now in Florida doing research on plants in outer space or something along those lines.
Yeah.
And she doesn't like sharks or bugs, so I'm not sure why she's in Florida, but she's learning to deal with it.
I mean, sharks, you're okay, but bugs, you are screwed. Yeah. Lizards as well.
All right, how do I get my health? How do I cheat to get my health back?
~F3, ~F4 gives you.
All right, look at that.
Oh, you're perfect.
It's as if I never.
Man, that's fun.
Lost.
Space plants. Right now I'm listening to the audiobook for The Martian, which, growing potatoes in Mars.
Oh yeah.
It's a pretty fun book, actually.
So I'm supposed to be looking for a key. Oh,
And I can pull up a map at some point if that would help.
it might. I'm going to try the other way to move around. That's a jump. That's a kick. I guess if you played enough times, you kind of learn the terrain. Every level's a different terrain. There's one where you get to ride on a water bug. So I'm looking forward to that.
Look at that map. There you go.
Oh, I got him. See, there's a blue door. So if I can find a blue key. Oh, there's a blue key. Now I can go through the blue door.
Level 1 already?
I don't know. Yep. And then I go into some kind of, oh, there's some water over there. We go jump on that.
Does this count as level 2?
Nope. We have to go through a little.
If anyone's curious, here's the hand-drawn map on a web page. Again, didn't exist when we were young playing these games, but
Ooh,
it exists
mushrooms.
now. All right, Hank. So you've settled into your gameplay.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, so 6-year-old Hank was probably not thinking, at some point in the future, I'm going to play video games on Twitch while talking about my expertise.
Never
in maize
crossed my
genetics.
mind.
But there was a long and winding road that brought you to where you are today, which is, for everyone, that's a different journey. A lot of people think professors were destined for this job, and that is rarely the case. We had a lot of forks in the road, and by coincidence or chance, we took it one way versus another, and we landed where we are now. And so for you, what was that journey between 6-year-old Hank and forks in the road, peak moments or specific moments you realized like, hey, I want to lean this direction, and how you narrowed down to your expertise?
That's an interesting question. Looking back, I can kind of guess. At the time, I had no idea. I always liked plants when I was a little kid. I liked them so much, my mom built me a greenhouse.
6-year-old Hank had a greenhouse.
6-year-old Hank had a greenhouse,
Wow.
maybe a little bit older, but and I ordered some seeds from a catalog and I planted them, and I actually wrote down how many germinated, which was kind of like a science thing. Looking back, it's like, oh, there's a clue of the sort of thing I would do. And I also always liked the farm. My grandmother had a farm, and I would go pick the corn there. So I just liked plants and agriculture. And then I ended up going to college at Oxford College of Emory University, which is not really a plant school. It's called pre-med, pre-law. And I wasn't interested in those, so I didn't stay on at Emory. I went to University of Georgia, and that's where I got more involved in plant genetics. So I majored in plant pathology for who knows why reason.
You really no idea?
No, no idea.
Just like plant diseases.
I like plants.
Yeah.
And there was actually a botany department, which was not in the ag school. And so I was in the school with the tractor drivers and the farmers, and I kind of liked it. But when I took some botany courses, I really liked it. And so I worked in a lab, Glenn Gallo's lab, who worked on cotton genes, cotton embryogenesis, when the seeds are developing. And I thought, I love this, and it was my introduction to molecular biology. So then I didn't know if I wanted to go to grad school, so I worked a couple of years in his lab. If I'm going to do the cheat thing again. Yay.
Nice.
And after a couple of years working in the lab, I thought, I like this enough to do it for a living. So that's a very long process. So I was probably 2 or 3 years after graduating with the bachelor's, I finally went to grad school. So I entered a PhD program at NC State in molecular biology, and I worked in Becky Boston's lab. He was doing maize seed development, and that's where I sort of learned to be a molecular biologist. And I really fell in love with corn or maize as a research organism for a number of reasons. One being that it's a really great community of people. Oh, I see some ants over there. This is a problem. Where'd they go? Tell me if you see red ants. I want to stay away from those.
So you have to collect everything? What's the...
The more I collect, there's an ant. They will go away if you kick them.
All right. I like it.
Where's the cheat code? I want to find the door to get out of this level. I've already busted through the
So here's a map if this is of any use.
keys. Exit. Am I anywhere near the exit?
Oh,
Does it show where I am? It doesn't.
No, this is like a secondary website.
Okay.
So I think you have
This
to
is kind of like my journey in science, just wandering around, kicking bugs and.
I think this describes humanity's journey through science, right? Just crawling out of the cave,
Okay,
trying to
let's see
find a
what-
pattern. Oh God,
Those guys are mean.
their throw's weak though.
Yeah, that throw's weak. They get worse though.
Oh man, but if anyone has any suggestions on where Hank should go, because we don't know this
There,
map.
so you can kick them. Stay away from those guys.
So there's a curved wall.
Actually, I'll just do this kind of. It's a brown door that's kind of a circular door, like almost like a little cave,
Yeah.
and that's the way out of here.
Twitch Grayme?
Oh, there's another key. I got
Said
a purple key now.
Let Hank concentrate. Well, the
Who
thing
said
you,
that?
well, Twitch, I don't know how do you pronounce that. Grame? Grame?
Don't know.
Twitch Grame, but
Good
Twitch.
call. Yeah.
So I would let Hank concentrate, but this is part of the reason I love Ask a Scientist Gaming, because there's an ivory tower problem in academia, where we're just on this ivory
Bam,
tower
bam.
holding court, or we're some
Oh, there's a
authority
door.
in front of an audience.
Oh, I don't have
Here,
that key.
Hank gets absolutely humanized by his gameplay.
Bam,
And so
bam.
whether he's good or not at gameplay doesn't matter, because I'm going to force him to play games, talk science, and
Didn't you say mediocre gameplay?
I did.
I can demonstrate that.
and hopefully expert science. But we get a mixed bag when you're trying to do both. So we'll see how it unfolds. So that's kind of the fun of the stream, is we get to game and talk science at the same time. So yeah, thank you all for joining us. Yeah, Hank talked a little bit about his winding journey, but questions are coming in. Let's answer some of these. What are maize genetics? That's a good one to start with. Thank you, Narwhal Ball. So
Maize genetics is the study of genes in maize, like the genetic control of growth and development. So in agriculture, it has to do with yield, like how much crop you get. Oh, I'd like to get in there. And so any genetic research is similar, regardless of the organism, whether it's bacteria, humans. Oh no, the ants. Get me out of here. Look how fast this roly-poly goes. Oh. So maize genetics really encompasses all of genetics research. You can look at individual genes and what they do. You can look at collections of genes. You can look at what makes a plant tall or short or good at setting seed. Of course, in agriculture, we're very interested in yield. So I'm in a biology department, which means I get to do a lot of discovery research. And so we are really trying to understand, I'm getting all kinds of keys. We get to understand how things work. And so maize allows it to have an application to agriculture, but the fundamental discoveries that we work on just apply to biology in general. So when we publish, a lot of times we jump and get that water. Yum.
does that replenish? Oh yeah, you got 2 keys now. You just need to find some doors.
Yeah, need to get out of here. This is level 1, so.
But
goodness,
what did you say earlier, Hank, about this game? We have cheat codes.
Oh yeah, help with the cheat codes.
Oh, I thought
Miss me.
You're gonna. Oh, let me find out where you are. So go up and to the left. That might be the final door. And you might want
This
to
way?
refresh your bar.
Tilde 3, 4. Get out of here. Woo! This,
Man.
I can cover some
So-
ground as a roly-poly.
Maize genetics. So I was going to say that's the fruit fly of genetics, but fruit flies are the
Exactly.
fruit flies of genetics. But this is the fruit fly of plant genetics.
It's
just a
one of
maize.
them. So one of the great things about maize genetics is 1 ear of corn is a family, and all the seeds on the ear are like siblings. So like today in the field, I was making crosses, and every time I make a cross and the ear will set seed, I've made a family of several hundred children.
Wow.
In just a matter of minutes. And so you can make tens of thousands of progeny, really good for what's called sort of segregation genetics, like how things transmit from one generation to the next. So we do a lot of sort of fundamental rules of heredity. And you're right, they're the same as the rules in fruit fly or yeast or you name your organism. So maize is like a lot of organisms. They're sexually reproducing, so there's a mom and a dad.
So I think go in there.
Where?
Isn't it in that door?
It might be.
Yeah. So if you keep going past them and up to the right,
Oh, you know where I'm going? That's good.
I think so.
I keep hitting the jump button. Jumping. Get out of here.
Take
Get
that,
out of
ant. So if this leads you to a dead end, I know where we are at least.
Oh, there's a little something.
Okay, we're in a dead end. Is that what the butts?
Do you see what? Did you figure out where I am?
No, I did not.
All right, I'm rolling.
Somebody wants to pull up this. All right, we'll do some more questions. Princess Pickle wants to know, random question, how'd you get in the science field? If you major in science, how do you get a job from there? Oof.
So
We're
if you major in
academics, we
science, that's a good question. It depends on what kind of job you want. We often talk about academic jobs and industry or biotech type jobs. And so they both require similar skill sets. The academic,
Can you get that door? Is that open?
I need that color key.
Oh, I see. So that's a gold key. I think that one's the one you need to get to the end.
You do?
Yep. Maybe.
There it is.
All right.
Right by the door.
That's
What a
convenient.
dumb place to hide a key.
All right. Now maybe
Oh, there it is. See
go
it?
to the right. You got
That's
an
it.
exit. All right. Level one.
Yay!
It's coming back quick, huh? There we go. Congratulations.
I'm on level 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Level 2. There's only 10 levels. And you
So
said
the
you're
question was how to get a job. So I
Yeah.
think an important thing is talking to people and interacting with people. Like you will get 5 different opinions if you ask 5 different people how to do that. So the more people you talk to, the better.
We're
Then
not gonna
it's
save. We're just gonna go.
go to level 2. Evil 2. Watch this. Watch this bug. Bam. Now it says level 2.
We got some lore, ladies and gentlemen. That's how letters were born, according to biologists.
So whenever you are doing science, you want to ask the people you're working with, what are the paths to the jobs, and just see what they are. I think it's a little easier now with the internet, but I mean, another thing is pay attention to what you enjoy doing. So, uh-oh, I don't enjoy that bug.
Might want a health bar. I'll just remind you if I see it below half. Because we're beating this tonight, ladies and gentlemen.
I've never gotten past level 2 or 3, so my goal is to beat this game, and I'm not going home until I do.
Keep in mind, we're drinking rum and kombucha, so
Rumbucha.
rumbucha.
I invented that, by the way. I should publish that.
Yeah, try to Google rumbucha. There are kombucha rum drinks, but they
Oh, yeah?
did not call it rumbucha. So
So
trademark.
That's one of my strengths in science is I'm good at naming things.
Awesome. All right. Speaking of science, well, this is about professorship. Caldwell wants to know, what's your favorite part of being a professor?
Well, my favorite part of being a professor is the students that I work with.
I think it's the students like me. Yes.
Yeah.
Biobiologist predicted that one.
Yeah, it is. They're like family, and they're only with you for a short time, but then you get to watch them do great things, and my students do great things, especially after they leave my lab.
Counterpoint, students are sometimes a pain in the ass. What they don't train you for in professorship is that it's human interaction. It's managing people. It's also people crying in your office. Like,
There's a lot. And the other thing I've learned is every student is different.
Yep.
So, learning all that, I need some help here.
oh,
I mean, discovery is fun and rewarding, but it's very far and few between. Those breakthrough moments. You have them,
yep.
and they mean a lot. They can only be 1 or 2 or 3 a year, depending on what you're doing.
Man, I remember 4 distinct ones during the entirety of grad school.
You do?
Like, yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, it ended up in 4 papers, right?
There you go.
But yeah, it's rare. You got to deal with 95% failure and 5% joy.
Yeah, that's why you have to love it. So and
Yeah.
you can't get too tied up in it.
Yeah. So follow-up question on that. What's your
Yeah.
least favorite part of being a professor?
The sort of nonsensical committee work that
Oh, man.
self-governed organizations like university departments do.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's committees and we do stuff, and
Oh, green key.
we're
Nice.
not that great at doing things. We make it up as we go,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
sometimes we get overburdened with our
Oh.
own rules of how to do stuff. But
Well, there was a heal reminder, but I think you picked up something, didn't you?
what did I get?
I think you healed, but yeah, thank you, Caldwell. Caldwell. That I appreciate it.
That's the niece. I meet with her once a month,
Nice.
and she's at Purdue.
Uh,
So I connected with her through this mentoring program, and it was great. It's like, who is this person and why am I talking to her? And then we just hit it off, and it's one of the funnest hours of the month.
that's fun.
We talk science, we talk life, we talk whatever. And she's in graduate school.
It is the
Oh, I can't get in there.
disease. Yeah, you need a red key. You got a green key,
Yeah.
and I can pull out the map at some point if we get frustrated.
Trying to
All right.
figure out how to launch that bumblebee, because I think I can launch the bumblebee.
M. Munidino wants to know, what's your favorite histone modification? First, what is a histone and why are we modifying it, and why do you have a favorite?
Okay, first, histones are the proteins that DNA is wrapped around, so they're kind of the packaging and organizing molecules that help DNA do what it needs to do. And so they form these little balls called nucleosomes, and the DNA is wrapped around them, so it's kind of a way to package the genetic material, which is a big, long, unwieldy string. But with the histones, they're manageable. Ooh, now I'm in a good spot. I'll keep moving. Oh, got you. Let's see. My favorite histone modification is that's a good question. I don't really have a favorite, but
The world wants to know.
okay, I'm gonna come up with one. So my favorite is probably some oligosaccharide modified histone, which we may not have discovered yet.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yay, there's a big old ladybug.
All right. Well, a lot of first-time chats here. Thank you guys for joining us. If you haven't heard of Ask a Scientist Gaming, mediocre gameplay, expert science, every 2 weeks I have a guest on who's an expert in some scientific discipline, typically a professor from FSU. Have had visiting professors on, actually, which is kind of fun. Program officers, as well as various other different positions, administration, so on and so forth.
Gotta watch out for those program officers.
Yeah, exactly. But if you guys aren't following Asset Scientist Gaming, you
Just kidding.
should follow us. Turn on your notifications. You'll get a notification every 2 weeks when we have guests. If you guys want to check out the list of speakers coming up, I'll copy and paste this right now. You can see it under schedule on our Twitch stream, but yeah, we got a bunch of people on. So Hank is on today. We got Paul Peluso from Family Science on in 2 weeks. Chris Martin, who's a cognitive neuroscientist. Brian Kudich from chemistry. He's an ultra-fast spectroscopist. Jim Fadul will be on in August,
right.
August 20th. So Jim's been on before, actually, playing some... What did he play? I think he played Space Invaders, actually. So yeah, we'll have Jim on as well.
He's my generation.
Yeah, but if you guys aren't playing, if you're not following, click the follow button. Even if you're not going to watch Twitch ever again, we like to see our numbers go up. We are very close to breaking 1,000 followers. We're at 918. So yeah, click the follow button. You'll only get a notification every 2 weeks when we go live, unless you turn off notifications, in which case that is perfectly fine as well. All right, Jay Cenid wants to know, why is corn a model organism?
Good question. Corn is a model organism because of several features. One is it's easy to make genetic crosses. So the male and female flowers are on the same plant, but they're physically separated. So you can collect the pollen, which is the male flower, and you can put it on the silks of an ear, that's a female, and then it will develop hundreds of progeny. So in just a matter of seconds, you can make these really big families, which is good for genetic analysis. Another reason is it's been used and studied for over 100 years. So it's a rich history of maize genetics, and the people that do it share their seed stocks. It's a very friendly and cooperative community, and it takes a long time to make different genetic stocks. So it's important to have colleagues that share the varieties that they've been working on for years. So really excellent research community. It has 10 chromosomes. They're easy to see in the microscope. We do a lot of microscopy looking at the chromosomes, especially at the stage where they're making the pollen grain mother cells. The chromosomes line up with each other and you can count them and see the whole genome. So some of the earliest genome researchers were actually microscopists looking through the microscope. So before we even knew what the structure of DNA was, we knew what chromosomes and the genetic material looked like. And maize is really beautiful with what we call meiotic chromosomes. So the cells that are going to turn into the pollen grains. And the pollen, which is a yellow dust that's you get all over your cars and everything in the spring when the trees start shedding pollen. The tissues that make those are synchronized, so they go through a really nice developmental synchronized progression, and you can just take different size flowers and get different stages of meiosis. So it's really sort of experimentally tractable that way.
So Farnham has a follow-up. Why do these gene changes show up so well in corn?
I don't know if they show up so well so much as when they do show up, the geneticists just keep them and then they try to breed them and see if they show up again the next generation. And if they're heritable, then they publish them and put them into seed bank repositories for others to work on. So I think there's a lot that are not that dramatic or spectacular, but the really interesting ones just get shared by the community. So over the hundreds of years that people have been working on maize, we've got quite a collection.
I mean, at any point, do you just have this spontaneous leaves are red, or like how
Yeah, we have spontaneous stuff. A colleague of mine sent me some seed. His name is David Braun, and I was growing it. And there was this one really weird plant in the family that he sent me, and I named the mutant What the Braun. So right now I'm trying to clone that to see what it is. It causes the flowers to transform into something that's in between the male and the female. And so it's a developmentally regulated mutant, and it looks like some other mutants, so we're going to have to do what's called a allelism test to see if it's the same gene that's been characterized before or a new one. But that's the only one I've discovered, but I like the name What the Braun. So
Yeah,
I'm growing it this summer. In fact, I crossed it this morning. So the life of a maize geneticist is somewhat brutal in the summer because you have to get out and cross the corn, and you have to cross it when it's shedding, which is only a few hours of the day, and after the dew has dried, because it has to be dry. And so out there about 7:30 in the morning setting up crosses and then doing them until 10 or 11, trying not to overheat. I bought a hat with a fan in it that keeps my head cool. So.
Oh, that does it. That's enough. I respect your commitment to the outdoors.
I got no choice.
I mostly work in a dark room, so life is good for me.
I respect your commitment to that research.
Yeah, to each his own is what we
Hey,
have
I got
here.
through that.
Oh, awesome. So that's the blue gate?
Yeah.
Oh, I think you're just exploring right now.
How do I cheat to get to the next level?
We're not doing that.
Where's the chat GPT for this?
if students want to help Hank cheat, feel free to do so. I'm going to catch up on some follows. Thank you all for the follows. We got Hammock Bang, Professor B, PSA 23B, Nish. Thank you all for the follow. Thank you for joining us at Ask a Scientist Gaming, Mediocre Gameplay, Expert Science. Today we have Hank Bass, who is playing a little bit of Bugdom, smashing some, what are those, walnuts?
Yeah.
Fighting some ants, trying to find keys, trying to find ways through the door. We're looking out for slugs.
And as always, avoiding mites.
And we are video game purists. Avert your eyes. We are cheating, but not too bad. We're not going to skip levels, but we are going to use maps. We also have a health code and a energy code, so we're going to use those to our best extent. But yeah, we're going to take a break from asking Hank questions to ask you guys a question. So Hank, which one do you want to go with?
Okay. Corn is both a vegetable and a grain.
Okay, so don't give an answer yet. So we're going to pop up a question right now. You might want health because you're getting beat up in the game. Health bar. All right, we're going to do a prediction for you guys. So predictions on Twitch are usually video game related, not for us. What we do is we ask you guys a science question based on the expertise of our guest. The guest gets to put a question together, and we're going to pop it up for you guys right now. You guys that have been following, you get standard internet units, those little points in the corner. They're imaginary Twitch internet points, useless outside of the stream, but fun to use to predict questions. And so we're going to ask you guys a question right now. Corn is both a vegetable and a grain. True or false? And so if you haven't done Twitch before or you're not familiar with predictions, there's a predict button at the top of your chat right now. Click that predict button and you can decide true or false. Depending on the degree of confidence, you can bet more or less internet points. Don't put your answer in chat, Caldwell, unless you're messing with people, because you are competing against your colleagues in chat. And so, yeah, click that predict button. Use your standard internet points depending on your degree of confidence. Use a lot of points or little points, and the payout is going to be balanced accordingly. So, yeah, click that predict button. Corn is both a vegetable and a grain, true or false. You guys have about a minute and a half to answer that question. Note you are on Ask a Scientist Gaming Honor Policy. You cannot use ChatGPT or Google or whatever to answer. You have to use your knowledge from genetics class, from what you've learned from Hank's gameplay and Bugdom. Whatever helps you answer this question, feel free to put those in right now. Make your prediction. Corn is both a vegetable and a grain, true or false. So if you're not following, click the follow button. 1, we like to watch our numbers go up. 2, you'll get notifications about future streams. 3, you will get 300 standard internet units that you can gamble on these predictions. You can also request a factoid. You can unlock emotes. You can force us to take a drink, which we are happy to do. So yeah, click follow, do a prediction, let us know. Corn is both a vegetable and a grain, true or false.
Here's a clue.
No, don't give clues.
No?
We're not. Nope, no clues.
Oh,
Don't. Nope. They're competing for their internet points, and they're going to earn them.
you're on your own.
Yeah, exactly.
The clue is there's no clue.
Exactly. All right.
Okay.
Much easier to hear without the music. I don't know what happened to the music. It's like certain regions it turns off.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Those slugs
It's
are
like the
getting
sound
on my
effects are still
nerves.
there.
So-
There you go. Got the Ken question emote. My grad student made that, which is pretty fun. Really captures my white hair, I think.
Where?
Right there.
Oh, nice.
All right, Hank, what is the answer? Corn is both a vegetable and a grain, true or false?
All right, first I'll give you my clue now that I'm going to be able to answer.
Feel free.
So squash is a vegetable because it can rot and you eat it fresh on your plate. And oats and barley and wheat are grains because they're dry and they're seeds. And true, corn is both a vegetable and a grain because you can eat the grain as a meal, like cornmeal, or you can eat it as a vegetable as the seeds are developing corn on the cob.
All right.
So it's one of the few plants that are both. How many people got that right?
Complete prediction. So 5 people said true, 2 people said false. The 5 people bet big, so they got a 1.13 to 1 payout. So they got a little bit, 10% return on your bet. Congratulations. Oh yeah, if the music was too loud, I could have turned it down. So if anyone wants to, give me suggestions on volume. We have several games throughout the night, so it's hard to balance volume of speaking versus video game and game volume.
I'm
So
very happy.
let me know if it's too loud. Wow, that's
Do you
fun.
hear it?
I mean, so the formal definition of vegetable and then the casual definition are not the same thing. So what's the difference between those?
Well, I learned this the hard way. So I interviewed at University of Florida for a position in the horticulture department.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't sure what horticulture was. So they said you should give a practice lecture like you would in a class. And so I gave a lecture about maize and other cereals. And then at the end of the lecture, someone pointed out to me, that these other cereals are not considered horticulture. It's like, well, what is horticulture? And they said, those are things like fruits and vegetables that can rot on your plate. So you eat them fresh or you keep them in the refrigerator. But grains are things you can store, and that's more agronomy. So then I learned the hard way that fruits and vegetables and grains are different things. So, but you don't eat oats and wheat and rye in its sort of underdeveloped, fleshy state. I think I kicked it down there, actually.
Yep. There we go.
Okay, we're back.
Sorry. We went dark for a moment. We lost a light.
My host has left me.
I left you out to dry. Oh, no,
I'm
that's
just
perfect.
spinning. Look how fast I can go. Okay. Oh, that's a dead end. Okay. So we're looking for keys still. Last time the key was close to the door.
All right. Congratulations, those of you that said true. Corn is both a vegetable and a grain. This is an interesting question because it's one of those like, why would he ask if the answer wasn't true? But also, there is
I
a
thought
way it
about
could
that.
be fast. But I was curious. I'd
Keep
like
it
to
simple
learn.
with true false.
Yeah. All right.
Which is kind of like a multiple choice question, which is 4 true false questions. That's why they're so hard.
Exactly.
It's really hard to develop a good multiple choice question.
It is. It is.
But speaking of ChatGPT, it's pretty good at making multiple choice questions.
It is. It
don't know
doesn't
why.
necessarily make coherent ones, but
Yeah.
it gives you the template to make something good. Yeah. No, that is true. All right. Lie, little lion. You mentioned earlier that genetics are largely universal between species, so you can research on corn. So can your research on corn be applied to humans and other animals, and has it been how? Oof.
Yeah, so we've been studying for a number of years meiosis. This is the process where the cells go from diploid to haploid. That is, we're diploids. We have two sets of chromosomes, one from each parent. And so corn is the same way. And then the cells that become haploid are the pollen grain in the egg, and they get fertilized to make the next generation. So we were studying the ends of the chromosomes called telomeres, and they cluster together to help chromosomes pair and segregate correctly. Because it's like having two decks of cards and you have to shuffle them.
So try the M button.
M is for music.
M is for music. All right. I'm going to turn it down a little bit
Or
so you
mute,
guys still
or-
get some music.
Yay, there's Bugdom music.
Yeah, this is a jam. I don't know why you guys were complaining. This is way more interesting than Hank.
Different levels have different music, so if you get tired of this one.
So sorry, following up on that one.
Yeah,
So
I was telling you about the
applied to humans or other species.
Yeah. So we showed in maize that the telomeres cluster before the chromosomes pair up. So during meiosis, the chromosomes from mom and dad have to find each other. So humans, the 23andMe, humans have 23 chromosomes, and chromosome 1 from the mom has to find and pair with chromosome 1 from the dad.
You need health and there you go.
And so we were able to show that this behavior of the ends of the chromosomes help them find each other. So we showed that in maize, and a colleague in Europe showed the same thing in humans. So we were studying the very same thing. And we published it in like Journal of Cell Biology, so it wasn't a plant journal per se. So I would say maybe a third or half of my papers are not in plant specific journals because we're studying fundamental genetic phenomena. A lot of times there is a very plant specific application, but a lot of what we study is sort of general rules of biology. So that makes it fun. It also makes it hard because you have to discover something that's not already been established in fruit flies or humans or yeast or some of these other powerful model systems.
All right. So
I
we're
need
looking
to-
for, I got the map up if we want to
Okay.
dive into things. So I don't know where we are right now. Big open area.
We're by one of the gates. We're by the green, the green gate. I don't know what color it is now that it's open. Now we're going into an open space.
Big open. Is there like a narrow path to the left?
The
The
water's
water's
puddles
not on
there.
here. You have no water on this.
You don't? Those little blue things are not water.
I don't know. You think those are water? They could
They
be.
kind of look like flowers.
Oh, maybe it's this one. I think it might be that one. You're in that corner.
Yeah.
So if you go out, I don't know where you're trying to go. There's
I'm
the exit.
Okay, I'm trying to go. I know where I'm trying to go now. Oh, trying to get that ladybug.
So if you go around this thing, oh, where does that put you?
That might be a key right there. I could just keep
So
going
if you have
left.
key doors, if you have key doors 2 on the left, there's one key door. Yeah, you're right here.
I'm at the red key.
So I think you're at that door right there. So if you go further on the left, there's another door.
Yeah.
Yep.
That one's been
Yep.
opened.
So you're right
Do I
there.
need to go through there?
There is a key through that one if you didn't get it already.
There is a key?
Yep, top right. So if you go up and right, maybe just hug that wall. And I'm going to throw some questions at you while
right.
you do that.
All right.
Dr. Bass, I have a question.
Hugging the wall.
How do scientists identify which genes are turned on and off in maize?
Usually by the gene product. So there's two types of gene products. There's the initial transcript. The DNA is copied into RNA. It's called transcription. Oh, I got the red key. Or then that transcript is translated into a protein. And so if you have a way to recognize the protein leave me alone. Or if you have a way to recognize the protein or the RNA, you can actually tell which gene is on and which gene is off. So you can isolate and sequence RNA molecules, and then you can tell from their sequence, because they'll match the DNA sequence, which gene it is. Protein's a little trickier. There's not as many tools for sort of globally and easily identifying protein sequences. Some people use antibodies. And if the protein's present, the antibody will detect it. That tells you that the gene is on. Usually people look at the RNA. That's the product that's copied from the DNA. So that's like an intermediate molecule that tells you this gene is active.
Mm.
Is that what the question was?
Yeah. No, I think that's reasonable. All right. So you're trying to find there's one way out of here.
Where's the final place I'm trying to get to?
So it's way down here. I'm assuming you have to get like...
I need to go back this way, right?
Yeah, you need to get the key for this door that we passed. You got through here.
I got a red key now.
Yeah, that probably gives you this door over here to get this key and then that one. This game.
I need to get to these keys, right?
Yeah, so I think you got this key maybe. But if you walk the entire perimeter here, you're going to find...
Where am I on the map?
I don't know. I know you're in this space right here. All right. A few questions from JHD PhD. How many kernels of corn are on an ear?
It depends on the type of corn, but it can be 300 to 600 kernels on one ear.
Oh, nice. All right. Follow-up question. Are the kernels of corn like twins?
If they have...
Okay, so now there's a door.
That door?
Did you just come out of that one, or you came?
No.
So
that's a new area.
So if this is a circular area over here.
So you think there's a key over there?
Yeah, somewhere.
They're not like... They can be like twins. If the mom and the dad are identically genetically constituted, then the kernels will be identical. And they will all be like... Well, they won't be twins. They'll be whatever 600 of the same is. 600 and
600. It's
yeah. But if the mom and dad are different, then none of them might be twins. There are. I'm just kind of randomly running around. I could just always go left.
Yeah, if you hug the perimeter, we can figure out where we are.
Let's do that.
But I'll give you the map here if you want to. If that helps. And I'll keep this over here. So yeah, there you go, right there. So unfortunately for Hank and I, we pay attention to chat and the questions, so we lose track of the game. So yeah, if you guys are watching mediocre gameplay, if that's what you came to Twitch for, we are here.
We're on it.
Huggable Giant, thank you for the follow. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, Ask a Scientist Gaming, mediocre gameplay, expert science, playing some Bugdom with Dr. Hank Bass, who's an expert in maize genetics. Oh, there we go. New
Got
room.
to a red.
So which one did you go to? The red one?
And now I'm coming up on a...
Okay, so now we're in the water. Right, where are we? You just
Probably
went through
there.
that door?
Yeah.
And then you're like here? If you go left, maybe? Yeah, this is like the water loop. Look at that bee. Hank is not a gamer. Ouch.
I'm jumping through the water.
Caldwell. Hard. Mediocre gameplay. Keep in mind, Hank hasn't played this for like
Mediocre.
15 years.
I can't believe you say I'm a mediocre game player. That's very generous.
Yeah, we'll take those compliments.
Oh, this is a new place. Look at that mean guy. This is
All
new.
right, so there we are. We're at this door right there, probably to the left. Left.
I see it. I'm getting my goodies.
Yeah.
Don't rush me.
Right.
I'm also thirsty.
You can take a break. We got infinite lives.
I am a gamer.
You've done remarkably well talking and gaming at the same time for somebody that hasn't practiced. For those of you guys who are complaining about Hank's gameplay, I encourage you to just play a game of your choice and try answering science questions, spontaneous ones coming from chat, randomly things on your expertise. It is harder than you think it is. I mean, especially on Twitch in front of a live audience, in front of the lights, it is a challenge. Caldwell said, we need to gift him a PS5. What would you
Yeah.
play if you had a PS5? Grand Theft Auto.
I would ask someone to develop a game called Double Discord, which is a frisbee game with two frisbees in play at once. It's kind of like doubles volleyball.
Nice.
But if you can't put a frisbee game on it, I'm not going to play it. Sorry.
I mean,
I haven't seen a frisbee game. Ultimate Frisbee
yeah.
on PS5 would be awesome.
Is there an ultimate frisbee game? I do not.
There
know.
might be.
Oh, there we go.
It's a different set of controls. Oh, there's a purple gate.
Wish these gates had colors on them. They do not. Who made
Do you
this?
think you
map?
know where I am? Your job is to figure out where I am. My
Yeah.
job is to run around and kick these
Because
acorns.
that door was at the end of a long tunnel, right? So
Yeah.
I think you're here going back this way. So you're
So
somewhere
I should turn
in this
around
area.
then. Okay, I'm going
All
to
right.
hug the left perimeter.
Niche 1234567 wants to know what tools or technologies do you use to study gene regulation in maize?
The primary tools we use are cloning, where we isolate the molecules and sequence them. And then once you sequence them, you can align them back to an assembly of the whole genome. So people have sequenced every chromosome of maize, and they've annotated where along the chromosome individual genes are. And if you isolate one bit of nucleic acid sequence, you can, with the computer, align it to the genome assembly, and it tells you, oh, that piece is on chromosome 2 near the end, or wherever it is. And so you have the advantage of all the annotations. So one of our primary techniques is to isolate the molecules that are in the cell. And if you isolate the RNA, you find the genes that are on. So for example, in a seed, you would expect to find seed proteins and enzymes that make starch and enzymes that make fatty acids. Whatever the seed needs is produced there. Oh, there's something.
Is that key? So you get
Saw
extra
key?
points for freeing the bugs? Is that what it is?
I think I just get good karma.
It's good for
The
the
opposite of
soul.
when I kick this guy. Kick this guy.
I
That's
mean,
not very nice. Kick this guy. Kick this
I
guy.
like it. So there's a key here. I think that's
Leave
the
me
one you need.
alone. Okay. Sometimes you have to kick
And if
to
we
the-
get too frustrated, we can cheat and just get the key.
Okay, there's a key.
Yeah, so
Where? Are the keys in the walnuts? Are they
think
just
so.
floating in?
I think most of them were in walnuts, if I'm not mistaken. So if
So
you
I
go
need-
back that way,
Am I going the right way?
so I think if you go, there's like a door somewhere there. So that's this door.
Oh,
right?
there's
Might be a
something back
key
there.
back
That's
here.
hidden way back there. That's got to be a key.
There it
Yay!
is. There it is.
Purple
All right.
key.
So you got that key. Now you're going to go squeeze the left wall. It's going to take you on a loop to a door.
I am stuck in a glitch. Glitching on Twitch.
Yeah.
Okay, I can get around
There's a
there.
speed still. So go
I wanna
left.
I can't get to this door, right?
I don't know.
Nope.
No, you don't have that.
Not a
key.
gamer.
So go back the other way, turn around, other direction.
That way?
There you go. Yep. So I think you're going there. To the left, there'll be a narrow pathway. Oh, no, maybe to the right more. Sorry. Up there. Then take a left. Yeah. So this is going to take you to a door. After the slugs.
Yeah.
Sorry, everyone. We'll get back to the science. We got to beat this level. And there's going to be a door at the end here. I think it's a purple door. So you have
Yeah.
that key. Then you're going to have left.
Oh my
Go left.
gosh.
There's going to be left, squeeze the wall. There's a key directly outside there somewhere. Maybe that walnut.
Oh, I jumped over you.
He's throwing rocks now. Look at
Jeez.
that. You might want help.
That's not very nice.
There you go. Let's try that one and maybe the other one. No.
It's gonna roll over him until I hit the key.
Because you can see right there after you get through the door, it's to the left.
You see it?
All right, I'm going to do some question.
All right.
New doc program milestone unlocked. Best Bugdom. Absolutely. This should be for pride. Grad students should adopt this game. It's spectacular. Whether you're a plant biologist or bug biologist, this is for you. It's
Yeah,
really,
when I was in grad school, I was in a building with entomology, so there were people studying insects on my floor, and I always liked entomology. I didn't think I'd be setting these bugs free and kicking walnuts and stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of flavors of biology, are you familiar with the nominative determinism
Nope.
sociology experiment or a sociology idea? The idea is that whatever your name is dictates what you do. And so
What?
someone named like Michael Teeth might become a dentist,
Oh,
or
that-
Usain Bolt turns out
So
to
I
be
should
really
be
fast.
a fisherman.
You should be a marine biologist,
Yeah.
right? You didn't choose that path. You chose
I
plant.
do have a large mouth.
You combated against nominative determinism, so congratulations. All right, Twitch Graham, thank you for telling me the phonetics of your name. Question, what epigenetic twists do you observe in corn? Epigenetic twists.
Epigenetic twists. So we see a lot of DNA methylation. That's one of the big ones. There's a lot of gene silencing. So I'm going to get my health back here. I'm going to roll around for a while. Don't get seasick with all my motion. Methylation is used to silence genes. It's also used to keep transposons at bay. So transposons are little segments of DNA that can replicate and move around the genome, and they can cause damage. And we typically think of them as not good. And so the organism has ways to silence them, which is to put them into a state where they can't be active. And one of the ways that's accomplished is by methylating the DNA. So there's enzymes that add methyl groups to the bases of the DNA, and that recruits other proteins that package the DNA up in a way that it's just not available to do stuff. So methylation is a really big epigenetic twist in maize genetics.
Man, we found some water.
Found some water.
It's the original
Quit
pond.
throwing some rocks at me. This game is more stressful than I remember. This used to be fun.
I don't need this in my life. But your
I mean, it helps if I can remember. Well, I'm going to try the mouse now.
Your
That might be
group
easy.
member said Bugdom group meeting. Everyone
Yes.
yeah, find it. It's downloadable. You guys should check out this game.
Bugdom group meeting.
There's maps and there's cheats, but we're gonna find out. I've lost track of where we are. I apologize completely, but at some point you need a key to get in a door. And we can cheat if you get
Well,
sick of that.
If Dee Caldwell's a gamer, she can tell me how to beat this thing.
Yeah, somebody, if you want a backseat game, we are not too proud on Ask a Scientist Gaming. We will happily cheat.
I can't even
All
get
right.
through this water.
Munudino wants to know, what is heterochromatin knob? What is a heterochromatin knob?
Oh, that's Mongino from Brazil. And that's my colleague from Brazil.
Oh,
I'm
that's
guessing. Heterochromatin knobs are segments of DNA that are short and repeated hundreds of thousands of times. And they make these knobs on the chromosome that you can actually see in the microscope. So the chromosome looks like a ropey fiber, and then there's a big knot on it. And the knot is called a knob. And they're historically very famous. Barbara McClintock used them to characterize recombination and show that when chromosomes recombine and the genetic shuffling is happening, the knobs, you can see them recombining, moving from one chromosome to another. And so they are just interesting places on the chromosome. And we are still trying to figure out what they do. A lot of the genome is what's called dark matter. This is
You hijacked that from physics?
yeah, because it's kind of true. It's like it's hard to study. Something's going on there. And
So that's different
and you
than
can get
junk.
sucked into it.
That's different than junk DNA.
It is junk DNA repurposed, and we now
You don't like
we now
junk?
think it's very important. Turns out most things in nature do things that you don't realize. So it's junk DNA for geneticists trying to study genes because it gets in the way.
What they want to study.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
It's not clear. The knobs have interesting functions. They can actually move chromosomes, and there can be like selfish elements, and they can. Let me take care of this ant here.
Neanderthal, no such thing as junk DNA. Is that true?
Yay.
So, I mean, so we've converged on there's certain things we thought were junk DNA is not, but are there vestigial chunks of useless DNA?
I think it's just a matter of we don't know what they're doing.
I see.
And they're abundant. And there's a lot of DNA that anything that can self-replicate ends up in the genome. And so we call it junk, but it's not junk. So one thing that kind of DNA can do, it can absorb harmful molecules and mutagens. So it can be like a sponge for things you don't want to have in your chromosomes. So in that regard, they can serve a protective function.
Yeah, they're not information. They can be radical traps or whatever.
Exactly. They can be like batteries for exonucleotides. They could be lots of things.
I mean, so the rationale is that, like, evolution keeps stuff that's useful, and eventually, if it's not useful, it just kind of falls out of purpose.
Or it keeps stuff that's not unuseful. Like if it's neutral, but it has a way to propagate and replicate, it will accumulate. So there's a lot of that in nature. So you may not ever find a function because it may not have one, but the organism may have figured out how to deal with it so it's not a penalty.
That is intriguing. So speaking of genomes, I was going to ask you this. So 2000 and early 2000s Human Genome Project solved the human genome.
Yeah.
Where's the timeline of corn genome being solved?
The corn genome, let's see, I should know this. Around 2009 or 2010 was the first sequence corn genome. It's a variety called B73. We grow it and study it. And it was about 10 years after the human genome. Ooh, I got a yellow key.
All right. Okay, now I think I know where we are. So you're over here. You just got that key. So if you hug the left wall, keep going.
Left, my left.
Yep. So keep going along that wall. You'll get to the key over here. So I think you're like here, you're going through a narrow.
I'm trying the mouse.
Yeah, it's not easy with the mouse.
No, the mouse doesn't have velocity.
Yeah. So you're walking through this narrow path here, and if you keep hugging left.
I'm going by water.
So stay left.
I'm right there now, I think, by that water.
Yep. So you're going there.
I had to go in the water.
But stay left. I love how they indicate water. Sure, they could have like blued this entire area, but no. Sorry, I'm complaining about a free map on the internet for a game that's, 15 years old, maybe 20 years old. Oh no, did you die? Oh no. Where does it restart you? It's just where you got the key. Okay, so hug left.
Like this left over here, way over here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where we are now, but we'll figure it out. All right, man, we're 1 hour in, so time flies when you're having fun.
Then I'm on level 2.
We're making progress. That's all that counts. We should ask them.
We're setting ladybugs free.
We should ask them another question.
Okay.
Which one do you want to do?
Okay, we're talking about genomes, so.
Yep. So I'll just point to it. I'll put it up, and then so they have a timer. Okay, that one's perfect. We got 3 options on this one. Usually we do 2. Hank wanted 3 on this one. It's a kind of a fun one, so I kept it. If they give us 3 options, let me see. Oh, there we go. Number 3. All right, you're going to have 2 minutes to answer this question. If you guys aren't following, click the follow button. You'll get 300 standard internet units to gamble on prediction questions. This is where we ask you a science question, and depending on your degree of confidence, you can bet imaginary internet points. Those internet points can be used to make us drink, unlock emotes, can ask for a factoid, whatever it is. But really, it's about pride here. We want to know which genome is the smallest, rice, corn, or human. And so this is talking like total number of base pairs.
Yeah.
All right, so you guys have 2 minutes to answer this question. Which one of these genomes is the smallest? Rice, corn, or humans? I love these questions because it seems like it's always random. Maybe there's a rationale to it, but anytime I've seen these, it's like, sure. An elephant is smaller than a fish. It works out. So yeah, put your predictions in now. Which genome is the smallest? Rice, corn, or humans? And I love the fact that you can make this a trick or not. It doesn't really matter. It's just fun. Note, you guys are on Ask a Scientist Gaming Honor Policy. You can only use the knowledge that you have. Don't look up the answer on Google or ChatGPT or whatever cheat people are doing these days. Instead, answer the question based on what you know or what you've learned from Bugdom, if this would help you in your gameplay. All right, do we know where we are in this map?
No.
All right.
I'm usually good with directions, but
I mean, let's find the
in
door.
the game, I'm not.
We can find the door and we can unlock keys if we need to.
We can?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll give you the cheat code for that. But I think it's hug the left wall and go.
That seems to be a recurring theme, this hug the left wall.
Yeah. Well, before we died, I think we were going the right direction. So
Over
you go
here?
that way. Yeah. That left wall over there.
This one here?
Misadventures, welcome back. Misadventures, an astrophysicist, joining us for some biology
Nice.
tonight. We're playing some Bugdom while talking about corn genetics. There's a prediction up right now. Which genome is the smallest? You guys have about 10 seconds left. Is it rice? Is it corn? Is it human? What is your guys' best guess? Hello, doctor. Neanderthal, thank you for the follow. Thank you for joining. Use your internet points. 10 seconds left. Get your answers in there right now. Oof.
And if my students get this wrong, I'm going to put it on your prelims. Sorry.
I like it. All right, Hank, what is the answer?
Corn.
Corn.
House. Rice.
It's rice. Rice has the smallest genome. That's fun. It was a toss-up between rice and corn. So congratulations, those of you that picked rice. You get a 2.43 to 1 payout.
Some of them get it?
Yeah.
That's great.
They got a couple of them did. Professor B, as well as a few others. I can't see the other names on the list, but congratulations. That is awesome. You guys got so rice has the smallest genome.
One way to know which genomes are smallest is, other than human, which organisms' genomes were sequenced first. Because the sequencing technology used to be expensive and tedious. And
let's get you a key. So that's the door.
need a
You
blue
probably
key.
find so tilde F5 is how we're getting the key. All right, try that now. There
What?
we go.
What? You got
We found the key, ladies and gentlemen. GG's level 2 is
Yay.
done. We might cheat from now on. We'll keep track of the maps.
This is the progress I made from 1999 to 2000.
So someone in the chat said it's smaller because a grain of rice is smaller than a kernel of corn.
Well, that's interesting, but not the reason.
It's not causal.
But Arabidopsis is a plant with a very small genome, and it's a very small plant. So interesting correlation.
So there is no correlation between size. Costco with the cheer, 1 bit. Thank you for the cheer. Shout out to FSU YSP. I don't know what YSP is.
Young Scholars Program.
Oh, that's
These
fun.
are
That's
high
what
school
yours-
students from around the state of Florida, and they come to FSU in the summer, and they partner up with different labs and do all kind of cool science projects.
That's fun.
It's one of the great things that we do in the summer in the biology department.
That's very cool. So thank you for joining us, Costco 1500, cheering with 1 bit. You should also click the follow button. Anyone that's not following, click the follow button because we're marching through Bugdom.
We're now in a foggy water space.
Some lily pads here and there. I'm going to catch up on some questions here.
All right.
Neanderthal wants to know, what is your favorite maize mutant and why?
Oh, that's a good question. I got so many to choose from. One of our all-time favorites, my all-time favorite, is Rolled Leaves 1. It's called Rolled 1. And developmentally, it switches the top of the leaf and the bottom of the leaf developmentally. So the top and bottom of the blade of the leaf are actually different, and this one gets them backwards. And when that happens, the leaves don't unfurl correctly when they come out of the plant. Well, I'm going to get on this water boat because I can ride this thing. Let's go.
Can you really? Like a horse?
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah, I'm on it. Oh. How do I
Would you
make
have
it
to
go?
pay for it? Oh, it like needs a card or something?
Oh, no.
Tilde F.
But my other favorite mutant of all time is Knotted 1. Knotted 1 is a homeobox protein, and it is responsible for cell growth. And the Knotted 1 mutant is actually what's called a gain-of-function dominant mutation. So the gene that's normally expressed is overexpressed in the wrong tissue at the wrong time, and it makes knots and all these sort of weird growths on the plant. It's very cool. It looks like an
Oh.
Escher.
Look at that. You have to pay them to go.
Well, where do I get money?
I mean, there's like, it's probably in one of the nuts somewhere, or we hit tilde F5. Either one of those. It's up to you which way you want to go.
I'm going till the F5. I got money now. Let's go!
There we go. Straight ahead. There we go. Costco, thank you for the follow. Thank you very much.
Geez, look at that thing. Water bugs are the bomb.
Oh,
They're kind of hard. What? Fishes will eat you.
I'm just going to assume this is realistic.
It's completely realistic.
The biologists say.
Haven't you ever been outside? This happens all the time.
Nature's scary, man.
Oh, no.
Costco has redeemed Take a Drink, so...
Oh, I
Hank,
get a drink.
Cheers. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you guys have a
Yes.
drink in hand. Those of you who are there of age, any young scholars, maybe not. Hopefully you have Coke or Mountain Dew or whatever. So I'm doing the straight rum now. This is very sippable.
Yeah, it's
very nice.
Diplomatico.
Yeah.
The good stuff.
So,
From
yeah.
Venezuela, which... Oh, now what happened?
For anyone
out of
curious, what we're drinking tonight is what Hank calls a rumbucha, which is kombucha and rum. So we got some Health Aid kombucha. The flavor we're doing right now is pomegranate blueberry.
Delicious.
And then we have this Diplomatico. You said this is from Venezuela?
Yeah.
Rum, which is good. Hank has to drive, so he's not going to take straight
No, I'm
rum,
just
but I am
putting a
going to, so
flavoring
cheers.
amount. I'm going more bucha than rum.
That's fair. All right, I'm going to catch up on some of these questions while Hank
right.
rides a bug around.
Where did I get the money? Still the F5?
Yeah, I think
I got
you run
money
out,
now.
right?
No, I got more now.
Find them bugs. All right, hypoxia for grants. Hypoxia for grants. That's
Hypoxia,
okay.
yes.
What about the impact of flooding on maize genetic function? Could repeated flooding somehow select for flood-resistant maize?
Oh, that's a good idea. I think it could.
Wow.
That's a good idea. We would flood and then let it recover and then flood it again and let it recover.
I mean, this becomes increasingly relevant with climate shifts and
It does, and a lot of people
water
are actually
cycles.
doing this kind of research. And
I mean,
certainly
especially rice, right?
yeah.
That's the big one.
And the biotech seed companies that produce a lot of the seeds the farmers grow, they're doing these types of experiments quite frequently. And they're called selection experiments because you just select the healthiest plants after they've been stressed. But that's an interesting idea. I think I would like to try that.
I mean, I saw somewhere.
Can I put that in my grant?
Something like
Who suggested that?
50% of the population relies on rice. Just
It's a
global
big,
population.
and, yeah,
It's
and
huge, right?
in some parts of the world, it's a significant amount of the caloric intake.
And there's some speculation that, I mean, by whatever, 2050 or something, if you have enough climate change, I mean, 30% of those crops in danger or something like that.
Yeah, so we're doing some stress research. We're actually looking at flooding because it causes hypoxia. And hypoxia is low oxygen. And just like animals, you need oxygen for respiration and to make energy. And plants also need oxygen for respiration. Let's see if I can ride this thing. Yes, go.
So it turns out you don't have to get any keys. You just have to get
Just
to the
have
door.
fun. Oh,
So you
Well,
just
get me
go
to the door
the
then.
right.
the
and
other.
I'm
Oh,
assuming-
wait, here's some. Slow down. This thing is a little too fast.
I love he has a little
Ah.
taxi cab hat on.
Yeah.
You guys should try out Roblox. we have done we've done Minecraft on stream before. We haven't had anyone play Roblox, but Costco, the key to this is having the guests pick whatever game they want to do. And since my guests are all old like me, we pick games that are old, so it's a lot of retro gameplay, and we do our best with the retro games we have. But we've had a few modern things. We've had some Fortnite.
Oh, there's the dock.
Other things. Lele, I see your question. I got to get through the other ones first, but I do see it. I will get back to it. All right.
No, these things are.
Arqua wants to know, can you tell me about what gene regulation means and why it's important in maize?
That's a good question. Gene regulation is the ability to turn a gene on or off when it needs to be on or off. And so it's costly to make a gene and make a protein if it's not contributing to the form and function of the plant. And so in different cell types, all the cells of the plant have the same genetic information, but only some of the genes are on. So the leaf has the photosynthetic proteins and enzymes, and you need those expressed there, but the root does not. So if you turn on genes for photosynthesis in the root, you're just going to be wasting energy. And so as important as turning genes on is turning them off or keeping them off is also very important. So the ability to do that is regular. Oh, I'm getting bit by mosquitoes. Those things are mean. Get me out of here. Okay. Did that answer the question?
Yeah, I think that's fair. You can complain in chat if it didn't. We're
Yeah,
happy to.
I can take another shot at it.
We're happy to.
But that is
address it.
one of the big questions, and still in the field of biology, is what is the basis for gene regulation? We know a lot, but the really difficult thing is to understand, where does the specificity come from? How do you take 40,000 genes and specifically turn on a subset of them at the right level for every cell type? That's not easily understood. They all look about the same in terms of their structure and their availability in the chromosomes, but somehow the cell knows how to turn on some and not others. So specificity is one of the biggest questions in biology and genetics in particular.
All right. Biobiologist wants to know, do you have a favorite gene? I'll go first. I'm going to go with Gene Roddenberry. No?
Yeah.
Gene Hackman, maybe? No, sorry. Do you have a favorite person gene and a gene in terms of genetics?
My favorite person gene is Gene the Dancing Machine from the Gong Show. Speaking of a long time ago, I just croaked on that one. Okay.
Oh, it'll revive you somewhere.
I'm alive.
Oh, that's interesting. The straws might be save states? That's awesome.
They are?
I don't know. I assume you spawn next to the straw. So I don't know if it is.
Oh, I don't want to go back to the water.
Yeah, you want to go this. So here's the map. You can see it's one continuous.
This is this straw here?
Oh wow, and for lifers, thank you for the subscription. You don't have to subscribe. Thank you for doing it with Prime. You can have Jeff Bezos write us a check directly. If any of you have an Amazon Prime account, you can attach it to Twitch and you get one subscription per month, and that gives us a couple bucks to support our drinking and gaming habits. So you pay for the kombucha and the rum for the evening. So cheers to you. Thank you for joining us. That is awesome.
And one of my favorite genes, the DNA gene, is a gene called UFO, which stands for Unidentified Factor for Orange. And so classic gene naming. The fruit fly people are very creative in the naming of their genes. They have the funniest and most memorable gene names.
Yeah.
Some organisms, it's very bibliomuctase type stuff.
Yeah, which is better
like
for
UFO.
students, but
Yeah.
UFO is kind of fun.
UFO is pretty good.
That's awesome. All right, catching up. Costco is loving the gameplay, so cheers to that.
Nice.
Congratulations. GG's. We got some solid games going while drinking some rum. But yeah, hopefully you guys are hanging out on Wednesday night, having fun.
I am trying to get away from these mosquitoes. This is just like real life. I'm getting a little stressed out here.
Oh,
You leave me
picture
alone,
up,
mosquito.
picture up.
What?
Can you even kick them?
I'm rolling out of here. Let's roll.
Nice.
Oh, now I'm swimming.
Is this the way you want to go, or is that back?
It's kind of back. You're
You
right.
might need some health. There you go. Nice. F3, F4, F5. Yeah, we're grinding through some Bugdom while talking about maize genetics. All right, Lele, we already your question. How does maize act as a model organism? We talked about this briefly earlier, but to recap.
Yeah, so it's a model organism because you can make really large genetic families by doing crosses. And,
Try
oh,
going
that
that
looked
way.
good.
You
There's a coin. I need to go left.
So if you've been this way, you want to go through one of the water
I
pathways.
see.
I don't know which one it is. Whichever one you didn't come from, you want to go the or wherever you came from,
So
go the opposite.
one thing, oh, there's something glowing up there. One thing that makes for a model organism is that they're easy to cross and they have a relatively short life cycle. And so maize is both of those. You can make lots of families by doing the crosses in the field. And the genetics is well understood. You can see all 10 chromosomes in the microscope, so it's easy to tell when you have chromosomal rearrangements. And there's decades and decades of genetics research that people put their seed stocks in repositories, and you can just order any seed from different varieties at any time.
I mean, it's a century of, at least a century of,
It is a century of, at least a century of research.
yeah.
I can't.
And that's
ride that
formal
thing.
research, right? I mean, we're talking about thousands of years of informal corn.
Yeah. So the corn is domesticated by Native Americans in Mexico. So that's where modern day corn came from. And then breeders have bred it for wherever in the world they're growing their corn. So we use a lot of the lines that were developed for North America. So they're bred to grow mostly in the Midwest. But it's a tropical plant.
So did you come up the dock side or the other side?
I did come up the dock side.
Okay, so you want to go the other way on the water, and I think it's going to take you.
I want to go back in the water. Dude, don't make me get wet again.
I think you're going to go left, follow the right wall. Sorry, bugs.
This way?
If we're facing that, I assume we're facing that way. And if you go right, yeah, go in the water. Does it let you swim? Is it gonna eat you?
It only eats me if it catches me. Oh, I got it eaten.
Oh my god. It full on murders you. All right. All right, we'll keep hammering the questions.
What happened?
Huggable Giant. What inspired you to be a star? Oh, what happened? Which one was that?
I tilde F5'd it.
Oh, looks like it started over. All right, let's skip. I don't know what happened, but I think we can do a level slow. Enter your name. All right.
That's my
Oh,
name.
you might have run out of lives.
Oh, I got 36,900 points. That's
All right,
awesome.
there's a level cheat I think I can get to externally.
Help me.
All right.
What was the last question?
What Huggable Giant wants to know, what inspired you to guest star on the stream?
Oh, Francis.
Ashwant Francis volunteered Hank, and he said yes. Is the right answer.
Francis says there's this really cool guy that does this streaming as part of his NSF outreach.
Let me see.
And you talk science and play games. And I said, I can do that.
There's a level skip here that I can do.
Let's do that.
Let me see. Bugdom cheats. Sorry, I'm going to look that up. So, yeah, he got volunteered via email, and Hank said yes, which is awesome. He was concerned about gameplay, but clearly it's going well, so we can't complain too much. Lele wants to know, how do you study gene regulation in different parts of maize, like roots versus leaves?
Mainly, you actually have to isolate those tissues and grind them up. So we do a lot of harvesting tissue where we just go out in the field and cut the leaves off or pull the roots up, cut them out. And then we separate them and we grind them in a liquid nitrogen in a mortar and pestle. So very old technology, but it's very tried and true. And that breaks the cells open and it gets the DNA and RNA and proteins out. And then we can purify those and study
there
them.
we go. Okay, we were on the pond. We're skipping to the forest.
Yeah, skip to the forest.
All right, there we go.
Level 4.
All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Again,
We
my
found
goal
the
is
level skip.
I'm not going home till I beat this game. Oh, I've never been here before. Whoa, this is exciting. I wonder if
Oh,
it gets...
wow, this is a heavy question. PSA 23B wants to know, what does it take to be a good scientist?
7 things.
7 things, we got a number.
So one thing is good hands. You got to literally have good hands, like at least in molecular biology, the field I'm in. You do a lot of micro manipulations of small... Oh, there's feet stepping. Oh my gosh. I'm rolling. Get away from these feet. Oh, don't let me get hit by the foot.
Yeah, keep an eye on your health bar. No pressure.
So
You just have to answer what makes a good scientist while getting stomped on.
Okay, the second thing is not to get stomped on. Yeah. So
Rule 3 is you don't talk about being a scientist.
Yeah.
No.
So good hands. You kind of have to enjoy solving puzzles and problems. So you kind of have to be good with sort of logic and problem solving. That's a big part of it. You have to enjoy just learning new things. You have to be able to put up with tedious repetition, because there's a lot of that. You have to be able to sort of stay with the long view of things. Like some things don't work, so you just keep trying.
Oh.
What happened?
Oh no, that was life.
That was a life. How many do I get?
I think you have one more. I think that's up in the top left corner.
You have to have good communication skills to communicate your science when you try to publish it, but also to communicate with others that you work with. You have to have a little bit of diplomacy, which helps with when you're dealing with people you are competing with. So they're not really enemies, but you do have competitors in the field, and you do interact with them at conferences and grant panels and in various ways. They review your papers. So it's very important to be polite and not always say what you think.
Be strategic when you say what you think.
Yeah. So those are a lot of the big ones. And then there's things that you can't really control, like luck. It helps to be lucky. It also helps to just know as many basic facts as possible, because when you do make a discovery, you want to realize that weird result actually means something. A lot of times you get a weird result and it just means you did something wrong. But it could also mean...
So try tilde F5. Does that give you lives back?
Does it?
It does not. Oof.
So that was a lot more than 7 things. But
yeah. Takes a lot of things. But
yeah. In our particular field, attention to detail is very important. And just sort of being systematic and patient is very helpful.
Yeah, they do not give you a life cheat on this. That's interesting.
Where are these feet coming from? How do I get to the next level?
That is a good... Here's the map. This is ridiculous. How are you supposed to beat this randomly? You got to memorize and explore indefinitely.
I don't know. JHD shared a video with me that described how to get through all these levels and made it look easy, but oh no.
Oh, I'm sure there's an easy instruction somewhere.
All right, get me to level 7 or 8.
All right, let's do it. All right, so I think we're hit F10. Hold F10. This should give us a level select. There we go.
Look at that.
So we were on
forest.
So let's try hive attack. We're making progress. This is how we're doing it.
Level 5. That's 2 or 3 beyond anywhere I've ever been before.
Yeah, we're gonna explore.
Thank
all
you for
of them at
taking
the
me
very
to
least.
bold new places I've never been.
No problem. Thank you for volunteering to play video games, drink, and talk science while on stream.
What could be better? It is. I didn't know what to expect.
Undertale had a follow-up on that. Totally agree on your 7.7-ish, approximately 7.
Yes.
But also you need to be able to tolerate constant rejection of your paper, of your grant, without letting yourself be defeated.
That's a great point.
True.
There is so much criticism in science, and most of it is just because you want to figure out what the truth is. So you can't get attached to your ideas, and you can't take failures and criticism personally, or it will just ruin your day. So,
if not your life.
Yeah.
Because it is stressful, especially as an assistant professor. It's brutal.
And a lot of times we get very passionate about what we're studying. And if something's not right, we say, that's not right. But it's not a personal attack when you tell someone that's not right. It's just a matter of trying to figure out what is correct. And so you have to have a certain level of sort of a detachment, but not exactly.
Man, this is another look at that level. You guys got to see this. This is ridiculous. This is what Hank is dealing with. That is the map. That's as detailed as we get. You got to have the keys plus the everything else.
Get me out of here.
So yeah, if you don't memorize this map, this is ridiculously hard.
I'm not good with maps on games.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the things. Unless you memorize every inch of the screen. It's like first-person shooters. That's how you're good at it.
What about this dragonfly? Can I get on those things?
I have no idea.
I think I can. I'm bouncing now.
Ooh, there you go. Get a ladybug save.
I think I can get on this thing.
All right. Some questions. We're going to catch up on them.
Let's go. I'm flying on the dragonfly. Woo! Am I
this.
steering it? This thing's a little top heavy. Pick your head up. Oh my gosh.
Evolution did not select for that skill set, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Meandertail, tell us about the maze and what it's all about.
Oh, the maize maze. The maize maze is a project kind of like this Dreaming with a Scientist thing that was actually conceived as part of a research grant. And we wanted to share our love of plant genetics and maize mutants with the public. So we developed what's called the maize maze. So you might have heard of these corn mazes where you can go out in the country and people have cut paths into the cornfield and there's a maze. So we decided to make a maze out of the 10 chromosomes of the genome. So like human has 23 chromosomes, maize has 10 chromosomes. So we decided to plant 10 rows of corn, and in each row we put the mutants, the genetic mutants that map to that chromosome. So when you're walking down row number 1 in the field, you'll actually see the mutants that map to chromosome number 1. So we developed these information placards that describe the mutants, like knotted one and teosinte branched and all these cool mutants. And then we open it up to the public and they come out, and
Where's it located?
we do it at the Mission Road field, which is a research field in the biology department. Let's go, get out of here. And so the maize maze is, we do it about once every 5 years because it's a lot of
Like
work.
Airplane flight where you have to look down to fly up.
Is
Press
it?
down. There you go. Yeah, it's inverted flying. There you go.
Get me to the sun then. Let's go up. Let's see if I can get to Mars.
It'll be fine.
Oh, I just got hit by that. That's not right.
I
Come
appreciate
on,
the
man.
biological accuracy of this
Oh
game.
my gosh. And what's this spiky thing?
Oh man.
So one fun thing about the maize maze is we picked mutants that look really cool to look at. Like that was our criteria. What
visual
maize mutants make you go,
manifestations.
wow, look at that. And each one is a mutation in a single gene. And that mutation teaches you something about the sort of plant growth and development. And so it's educational and it's fun. And we're actually developing an online museum of the maize maze so that you don't have to be there in person to see it.
Oh, that's fun.
So we want to gamify it actually. So what I'd like to do is get out of that thing, get back on this guy. Let's go.
Not too high.
Not too high because of bats, right?
It's not the sun.
Let's see.
Bats. Is there a threshold?
I don't know. What's that wall?
What's that wall's appropriate question to ask in gameplay?
Oh, I got eaten by another bat. Those bats. The bat can fly through the wall. That's not fair.
Oh,
That's something wrong with the programming there. But
all right. It's the last live on this one.
yeah.
Let's go. All right, but gamifying the maze. How's that gonna?
So what we want people to do is to, like, online be able to walk through the maze. And so you'll see pictures and movies of the maze mutants. There'll be placards that take you to more information if you want to study it like a scientist.
Yeah.
There'll be gee whiz photographs and several levels of description from like something a middle schooler could understand or general public to something that an actual maze geneticist might understand.
That's fun. You thought about like VR, 3-dimensional camera?
Yeah, we have thought about that. We made a lot of websites that just have the pictures, and we have a web repository called Omeka that has a lot of the photos.
So one of the guests we had on from communications department, Andy Opal, does the VR filmmaking.
Oh, I
so
can
he
check
has
that
the
out.
360 camera. He does the recording. Like he does documentary filmmaking. And so it's like they'll be interviewing someone, and you're sitting with them in a bar, and they're telling their story. So you can cut in video and all sorts of stuff, but you can also look around the bar while they're telling you. And one of the things he talked about was like the storytelling scenario. I don't remember what they were talking about, but as the story progressed and escalated, more people in the bar crowded around you.
Oh, yeah?
So you got like a collective experience.
Nice.
So he'd be a good guy to talk to. I'm sure he's always looking for content.
Well, during the pandemic, the Maize Genetics Conference made use of this thing. It was called, what was it called? I've lost energy here. It's called, what was it called? Gather Town or something like that. And all the participants were in this online virtual space like this. And as you came close to someone, your screen would show up and you could talk to them. So groups of people could interact. And we thought that might be a good platform for doing this. Where's the map for this thing?
What are we on, 7? No, 6. In the belly of the hive? Jesus, look at that.
Do we know where I am?
No, I have no idea. I'm not even trying anymore. What's hard is you can only see like one of the edges.
Yeah.
You can't see both sides simultaneously.
All right, I'm going to try the...
I'm not sober enough or paying enough attention to keep track. Man.
I'm going to try always turn right. Like, that'll get you through the whole system,
The
right?
whole perimeter. Yeah, no, that's true. It won't get you to the keys, but you have the keys already, so...
I do?
Yeah, if you did tilde F5. So then I think it's just find a door.
Well, what is this thing that I'm in? I'm in a beehive?
Right. If you
Where's the pollen?
Yeah, if you follow right all the way, you'll go through a lot of loops, but you will get to the exit. And I don't even know if there's doors on the way, but we have keys for those. All right. One ever more stand? One ever more stand? Odd question. But what are your thoughts on double disc courthouse frisbee? What's double disc courthouse frisbee?
I don't know about the house fire, but double disc court is a frisbee sport. It's one of the best frisbee sports in the world. And you actually play 2-on-2 like doubles volleyball. And instead of one volleyball going back and forth between the courts, you have 2 frisbees going back and forth. But you and your teammate cannot hold 2 frisbees at once, or you lose 2 points. So you're always throwing the frisbee back, and there's always 2 frisbees in the air, and you have to make some really quick decisions for catching and throwing. So it's unlike a lot of frisbee sports where you want someone to catch it. In double disc court, you don't want them to catch it.
And this
so
is a racquetball court? What do you play this in?
There's 2 13 by 13 meter courts.
13 meter.
Yeah.
Huh. What is that? It's a specialized court? What is that?
It's just some white tape that we put out on the grass. And the 2 courts are separated by 17 meters, so you have to throw it across that and into the box on the other side. So if it doesn't go in that court, you lose a point. And they'll catch it and throw it back, but there's 2 at a time. So sometimes there's 2 frisbees in the air coming at you, and you and your partner have to decide who's going to catch the first one without touching 2 of them at the same time. So I forget what the question was.
Tilde F3, what are your thoughts on it? Clearly,
It's awesome.
you're
It's the
enthusiastic.
best. It's best.
Have you taken your research group out to play?
No, that's a good point. I take frisbees to everything I do, so we have them in the cornfield and we have them at outdoor events.
Yeah. So
I always have a trunk full of frisbees.
Do you disc golf at all?
A little bit.
Yeah, that was my
In Tallahassee, we have one of the most active double disc court pods. We call them pods. Our pod father is a retired faculty, Jim Elsner. And
Oh, yeah.
He's, do you know Jim?
Yeah. He's done the in-person Ask a Scientist, but not the game.
Oh, he has? Okay.
Yeah.
Get him on the game thing.
No, I asked him. He said no.
I'm not surprised.
That's fair.
I'm stuck in this corner. Help. Okay, now I'm out. But our pod is one of the most active groups in the world. It's a kind of a specialty sport that not that many people play. But we have a really great group here. And we play every Sunday at Tom Brown at Optimus Park.
Oh, that's fun.
And yeah.
Well, it's good for the health and well-being, social life.
It is.
You guys need hobbies, even in grad school.
And, you know, when 2 frisbees are coming at you at the same time and you got to decide which one to catch and throw first, it's a lot of mental activity. It's not a lot of physical activity because the courts are small, some running around, but it's so much fun. That's the second most fun thing I do after science.
That's awesome.
I'm hugging this right wall, and I feel like I'm not doing anything.
It's a hell of a journey. You have
Am
a
I
long
still
way to
going
go.
somewhere new?
So we should do a prediction, but before that, Little Lion has requested a factoid. So do you have a knowledge bomb you'd like to drop on the audience?
So I just say it?
Yep, go ahead.
Let's see. I have a whole big list I brought with me.
You only need one.
Okay. So here's a knowledge bomb. There is no wild type maize. So in biology, we have mutants and wild type. Wild type is the normal organism without any mutations. Did you know that there's no such thing as wild type maize? And I can tell you why if you're curious. You think you're curious?
Let's do it. I'm curious.
The reason that there's no wild type maize is that it's a domesticated species. There's nothing in the wild that looks like corn that you see in the cornfield. It is so different than the ancestral plant that it was domesticated from, that if humans didn't plant it, it would not exist.
And the ancestral one, it just doesn't exist anymore?
It does. The ancestral one is called teosinte, and it's a sort of bushy, grassy
So it's not
plant.
even corn.
No, and it's got really hard little seeds that are not really edible, or I mean, the leaves look a little bit like corn, but Native Americans domesticated it through selection of these mutations.
Yeah.
I need to energy up here.
There's just no wild type because of it. That's awesome.
Yeah. So in the maize genetics meetings, in genetics there's a convention that you have mutants, and then you have the wild type, which is the non-mutant. And every time someone would talk about their wild type maize plants, one guy would stand up and say, "Excuse me, we're not. We don't actually have wild type corn. You can call it normal if you want, but you can't really call it wild type."
Well, actually, it's so pretentious.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
least mutant. What is your least mutant
non-mutant
control?
But when you publish, everybody else is expecting you to talk about mutant versus wild types.
Oh, I suppose it's
kind of hard.
A different journal. You don't have a choice.
Yeah, but if you go to the maize genetics meetings,
They'll shit on
Marty
you.
Sachs will set you straight. He's one of the
He's the known
corn gurus. Yeah.
He's the corn purist.
Yeah.
Chrono Crustix, welcome back. Thank you for joining. A follow-up question on that. There's plenty of dispute about wild type in humans too, isn't there? That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that. I've done my best to keep ancient corn myself, but otherwise I avoid the thing. Ancient corn? That's closest to wild type?
That might be like the teosinte. Oh, I'm in a, what is that? I'll jump up on this thing and see if I can get some honey. Nope, nothing happening there.
I'd have to do the flying thing or whatever it is. But Contra, well, thank you for joining us. Everyone, thank you for joining us. We're a little past 9:30. We're an hour and a half into the stream. We're playing some Bugdom with our guest today is Dr. Hank Bass, who's an expert in corn genetics, geneticist, epigenetics. He cares about all things hereditary traits and how genetic information is transferred and editing genes and all sorts of things. So if you guys have any questions, put those in chat. We're going to keep catching up on questions as they come. But Contra, thank you as always for the subscription. That is awesome. We really appreciate it. You're helping our drinking habit. We're drinking some kombucha with some rum.
Rumbucha.
Diplomatico. Rumbucha.
You heard it here first.
Trademark pending. I don't know what it takes to get a trademark, but we're calling it dibs.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Yeah, Contra, it's good to have you back. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, kombucha is an interesting choice. Is this a health-related choice, or you like the taste, or
both?
The health is
Supposed to be good for your gut and your digestion, and it's kind of vinegary and it's a little acquired taste.
so it's fermented tea, if
Yeah,
I'm not mistaken.
and it's the mother fungus or whatever it's called is I think it's a fungus and bacteria combo. I should know, but I forget. Ooh, I got sparkles coming now.
We're making progress on this right wall strategy, because that's what we're doing today. We're trying to beat some Bugdom. But if you guys have questions, throw them in chat. We should do another prediction. We haven't
All right.
done one in a while. Which one do you want to do? That one
That bottom
right there.
one there. Yeah.
All right. Is there any context you need to give on this question?
Nope.
All right, we're gonna throw a prediction up there for you guys right now. If you're not familiar, Ask a Scientist. We got ask you guys questions. You have a chance to spend your standard internet units or win standard internet units. You can make us take a drink. You can unlock emotes. You can request a factoid depending on your standard internet unit points. But we're gonna put up a question for you guys right now. Click the predict button right now, and you can answer the question: corn smut is fungal and edible. True or false? Is corn smut both fungal and edible? True or false? Anything?
That is not
smut?
a trick question.
All right.
That's all I'm going to say. I feel like I'm going in circles.
So
now.
yeah, what is corn smut? Can we define that? Or is that going to give away too much?
Yeah. It's just what it sounds like. But not really.
I was going to say, it sounds like a lot of things. I don't know. I'd take that one.
It infects the corn. That is a clue.
All
So I
right.
can give clues. Are they supposed to answer it?
Little lion. Anything is edible at least once. That's true.
Correct.
That's anything
That's a
edible if you
scientist.
try it hard enough.
That's coming from a scientist.
Lie, little lion. You get a point.
Yes.
Fungal and edible. How about should we add context of non-fatal edible? Is that
It's delicious.
all right? Smut is
It's a delicate
fungal
delicacy.
and delicious. True or false?
Yeah.
I thought this was family-friendly Twitch. Absolutely not. This is an 18+ stream. We're an adult stream. We're allowed to swear here. Man, how far do you think you are on this map?
I have no idea. Am I still going around the edges?
Yep.
That was.
Oh wow, you murdered that bee.
I did.
Yeah. If you come to like a corner or something, we can check where you are on the map. So there's like a door we missed or something. You might be doing the same perimeter. I don't know. That's fun. All right, 2 seconds, 1 second. All right, corn smut is fungal and edible.
How many
True
people
or
got
false?
that?
What is the answer? What is the correct answer?
True.
True. I've got a bunch of people that said true on that one. 96% of the betting was true.
Wow, we have some maize geneticists.
Yeah, exactly. They know their corn smut. All right, what is corn smut? And
It's
why is it fungal and edible?
It's a fungus, and it infects the corn, and it whatever tissue it infects, that tissue just grows. And so you might have actually seen it in the grocery store. Like if it infects the kernels, they just get big, and they just look like big fungal tissue
Interesting.
of kernels. And if you get it, it sporulates, and then the spores are black, and then then it looks yucky. But when before it sporulates, it's just like a mushroom. But it tastes a little bit like corn because it's a mix of the corn tissue and the fungus growing together. And people eat it. They saute it and put it in tacos, and it's delicious.
That's it.
I have not eaten it. I usually tear it off and put it in a paper bag and throw it away so it doesn't infect.
So rumor is it's edible.
Yeah,
Contra, whoa. I need a corn smut taco.
there you go. It's awesome.
Corn to
I
smut
will
taco.
deliver you one.
Oh man. All right. Are you sick of this level? Because we can skip.
Yes, yeah.
Let's do tilde F1. Boom! Congratulations.
Well, Eustalago
GG's.
Matus is the name of the.
Oh,
corn
man.
smut
Could somebody start a
species.
restaurant on this?
Yeah.
Could this be an angle for a food truck?
I think you probably wouldn't call it corn smut.
I don't know.
Probably
I
got a
mean,
better. What?
unique brand, right?
Yeah.
Like
Don't say it.
edgy enough. College Town, maybe.
What level are we on?
This is level.
We're about to find out on the descending
We're on level
mean
7.
bees. Where's the 7?
It's coming. It's coming. Oh, this is just a one-on-one battle? Let me see.
Where are we? Let's see. Oh,
The only way to hurt the queen bee is to slam into her as a ball. Kicking her will do no good. As soon as the level begins, you want to start ramming into her. You want to do as much damage as quickly as you can. The longer the level goes, the more difficult it is to hurt her. At first, she spits out bee larvae, but once she's set at 50% health, she'll start spinning fly bees, which are very hard to avoid. You want to keep collecting shields and ball timer power-ups during this level.
Where is she?
Maybe that's it?
No, that's a fire.
Oh, no. There's... All right, let's get to the menu. Skip it. All right, F10, click, start. We are on Queen Bee, level 7. All right, you're going to ball up and run and hit her and make sure your health stays up, and you'll be fine. It sounds like a war of attrition.
I had to recognize her. I'm not sure.
Sounds more appetizing.
Oh, there she
than
is.
Corn smut. So run into her a bunch.
Oh, there's those spikes coming up. That's not nice. The heck?
Oh, get your health up. Whoa, the music got intense. That's awesome. That's gameplay right there. That's quality entertainment. Oh, that's fun. OpenSet, who's another streamer, works with sweet potatoes.
Sweet potatoes, yes.
That's interesting. Why a choice in sweet potatoes? Is that a common choice?
Probably not.
I guess if they're not studying genetics necessarily. But
one thing interesting about sweet potatoes is one of the common varieties, as I understand it. Keep my health up here. I'm running into the queen over and over. Oh, what is that? Oh, the queen is releasing.
Oh, actual education rating the stream. Sweet potatoes are the best. We're talking about plant biology tonight. Actual education, thank you for joining us. Anyone that's not familiar with Twitch and educational streamers, there's a bunch of us. Actual education is one of them. I think does math and science tutoring live on Twitch, which is kind of fun. Uses this as a medium to communicate science. Not necessarily video game play, although they might play occasionally. But yeah, sweet potatoes are the best. But our guest today is Dr. Hank Bass. Hank is an expert in corn genetics, and he's playing a game called Bugdom, where he's taking on right now the queen bee with his bugs. So if you guys have questions about genetics, actual education, hopefully your stream went well tonight. Hope you're having a good Wednesday night, hanging out on Twitch, talking with people. We're drinking rum tonight, so if you guys are interested, a kombucha based rum or rum based kombucha, I don't know which one's the solvent versus the solute.
So sweet potatoes are an example of a genetically modified organism that was modified by a bacterium and was one of the first cases of natural horizontal gene transfer.
Oh,
so I know there's a lot of concern about GMO.
Yeah.
But one of the things, it turns out it's not inherently dangerous, and in fact it's been going on in nature for millions of years. And the commercial sweet potato is an example of that.
So it's a byproduct. That wasn't intentional. That wasn't bred. It was just an accident.
It just happened, and it contributed to, I forget which properties of the sweet potato that people like, but these blobby things are eating me up. I don't know what they are.
Yeah, keep your health bar up. You'll be fine. Happy, delicious accidents, yes.
Yes.
Naturally Monsanto.
Kind of, but no humans involved. So there's a bacterium called agrobacterium, and it is able to transfer genes into plants. So this is a bacterium that puts genes into plants. And so that's a very different set of species. Oh, there's something trying to get me. Oh my goodness.
Right, but actually your question about which rum, we're drinking this tonight. It's Diplomatico. So this is from Venezuela. We have Reserve Exclusiva.
Yes.
I think this is 21 years. What is this one? I think that's what it said online. But yeah, aged rum.
Diplomatico.
So yeah, cheers. Hopefully you have a drink in hand, hanging out, maybe some rum, maybe some kombucha, whatever might be happening while we're trying to fight the queen bee with our bug. It's like a Rocky come from behind story. All right, I got to catch up on some of these.
All right.
Lele wants to know, what inspired you to study maize genetics and gene regulation?
So the gene regulation I was interested in since an undergraduate at the University of Georgia. I worked in a lab, Glenn Gallo's lab, in the botany department. He worked on cotton embryo development. So that got me interested in genes. And then in graduate school, I worked in Becky Boston's lab at North Carolina State, and she was working on seed development in maize. And so that's when I really fell in love with maize as a model genetic organism. And they advise you to switch organisms when you go from graduate school to postdoc, or from one stage to another, just to get a broader training. But I didn't want to leave maize, so what I switched was from molecular biology to cell biology. So I did more microscopy as a postdoc, but I stayed with maize because I just loved it so much. And so I would say my grad school got me hooked on maize genetics. And I've been doing that ever since. It's such a rich organism in terms of the biology and the things that you can study. It has a genome size similar to that of human. So the expertise that we have in our department on sort of human chromosome biology is useful for maize because they have similar sized genomes. So we actually use quite similar techniques. I learned a lot from Jonathan Dennis's lab, who studies human chromatin, and we applied some of those techniques to maize. So
there you go. She's right.
Where is she? She's hiding behind all these blobby things.
Yeah. I think you turn the camera.
Oh, I see her.
Yeah. We got a burger ramp going. Oh,
I can't get to her.
That's awesome.
She is well protected. Didn't it say the longer you wait, the harder it is?
Hammock Bang wants to know, what is easier, beating Bugdom or sequencing a genome?
Sequencing a genome, by far.
I can tell you which one costs more.
Which one?
Sequencing a genome. Yeah. This game is free.
Yeah.
All it's going to cost you is your time and sanity, which I guess there's a price tag. You want your health.
It's good to have a
chromatin staining, origin of enterochromaffin cells. That's
origin of enterochromaffin cells. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to look it up. Huggable Giant, do you own anything unique that is maize themed that is not from your actual work? Do you have a corn trinket collection?
People give me corn stuff. I have corn shirts. I have a corn. Where's the camera?
Yeah, right there.
See it? It's a little knitted ear of corn.
That's awesome.
From a former student, Zeta, who's at NC State graduate school now. He knits these and gives them to people. They're hot commodities at the maize genetics meetings. Let's see.
Oh,
I do have a corn salt and pepper shaker.
Oh, Contra has a follow-up on that. Chromatin cells were named after their affinity for chromatin and staining. They are cells where serotonin is thought to reside and be created.
Really?
Oh, wow. That's cool.
I learned something new about that. That's awesome.
That's very fun. Lori, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Our drink tonight, we are drinking a mixed drink. Hank has patented or trademarked it himself. It's called rumbucha. It's kombucha plus rum.
So good.
So there's our drink. We're doing a health aid kombucha with some Diplomatico rum. And so, yeah, we're having a good night, hanging out, drinking. Hopefully have a drink in hand. Cheers, everyone. Lori's got a long drive tomorrow, but thank you for joining us the night before said long drive. Wow, look at those. Those guys got big.
Yeah.
But your queen, she's at half health, so I think you're making progress.
Oh, that's the queen health down there?
Autocorrect does hate science. Oh, what's really fun in chemistry, there's a dictionary, a spell correct with chemistry words. Adam Asman from, I don't know where he is now, but he created a dictionary for word with chemistry terms, which is kind of cool. So you get autocorrect, that actually makes sense.
There's the queen. No.
All right, Lie Little Lion. What is the function of plasmodesmata in maize?
Plasmodesmata.
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 How do they know when to close?
That I don't know. The second.
Get health. There we go.
Plasmodesmata are giant connections between cells in plants. So they're like, you think of cells as separate little closed units connected to each other, but they actually can share their cytoplasm through these big channels that are called plasmodesmata. And it makes people actually refer to plants as maybe not multicellular, but like one big, sometimes called a syncytium. So that means things can move from one cell to another without having to cross through the cell membrane. They just go through these giant channels. And I don't know what regulates when they open and close. It seems like it would be risky. For instance, if you had a viral or fungal infection or bacterial.
Just to open the gates.
Yeah, the plasmodesmata would be an opening into the next cell.
Yeah.
So maybe they close in response to some sign that they've experienced a pathogen. But they give plants some of their unique properties. And I don't think there's a animal counterpart exactly.
Where are we? Like, there's the outside perimeter.
Is there a map?
No, there isn't for this one. It's just like there's a queen and that's it.
Yeah, the queen's in there. Do you see the queen?
I didn't see the queen, but like, that's where they've been. Queen is at half health, but we have not seen her in a while.
I think she's in the middle of those bubbles.
Yeah, just run through them and
run through them and see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. There she's in. Is that the queen?
I think that is.
She doesn't look very queenly.
Oh, might want to help up. The little larvae are taking you away.
No.
A guy named Carolus. Yes, your question was received. I am getting through the list, but you're a raider from Actual Education. We'll bump you up. In times of starvation, is corn a good crop to grow in any part of the world like potatoes are?
In what situation?
In times of starvation, like zombie apocalypse, are we growing corn?
You can. It is a tropical plant that prefers to grow in the summer with a lot of sun. So you wouldn't be able to grow it in the winter. So that might make it not ideal. You might want a plant that can grow year round. Like moringa. Moringa is a good plant.
Health up.
High protein. Doo-doo. Why am I getting jabbed under these shadowy things?
Let's go back. You got another hit on her.
I did.
So you're making progress. Yeah, I think it's just run at her in a ball as much as you can.
That's what they said, but
easier said than done.
Yeah.
Oh, so she's at the center. So you're going around the perimeter. If you find one of the like left turns here.
Okay. There went one.
That'll take you to the Then I think it's just swing at her. Just roll up in a ball. You're out of health or out of roll juice. I don't know why he takes roll juice, but there we are. All right. Will 135K, what are your personal ethical concerns about editing crops like maize, if any? Do you have any ethical concerns about research or the implications? I know there's been companies that try to like put, terminal tags or something inside of corn. Like what's your concerns about what you do? What's your concerns in general?
I guess my concern is anything that's just entirely profit motivated and is not really about the sustainability or thinking about the farmers, and especially subsistence farmers that need to
need health.
Plant their seeds over and over. In terms of the technology, it's not inherently dangerous or bad. There's a lot of companies adding nutritional value to crops, and so that's good. They're modifying crops in ways that allow them to grow under conditions or in locations where they normally couldn't grow. So expanding the range of places that you can grow crops is probably good. So I think what needs to be regulated more so than the process is the traits. People need to think about what's the trait, is that really good? And the process for making them is fairly natural. I mean, maize is a freak of nature, domesticated by humans, so it doesn't resemble anything in nature. So we've already been modifying corn massively without knowing what we're doing. And I think with some of the new technologies, it's more precise. We know what we're doing. But the question is, what is the value of the trait and what's the risk and harm of the trait?
Oh, there you go. There's Queen. Boom. Oh, the needle got you.
The needle got me.
Yeah.
These needles got you. I don't know if that answered the question, but
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. All right. Well, I'm going to follow up with that one with one of my questions, which kind of relate. Oh no, the life. Oh, all right. You're down to your last life, but the queen is down to less than half health. So if you can balance that, keep your health bar high,
Help.
keep running back and forth. All right, but my follow-up question, and one we like to ask every single guest, and it relates to this ethical question. Unlimited budget, no moral qualms, what experiment would you do? What crop would you grow? What would you do to all corn on Earth? Like, you could do anything. Or grow corn on Mars. What do you want to do?
I would increase
Keep your health up?
plants that do carbon capture. Is part of the big challenges with the CO2 levels. So a lot of plants will capture CO2 as part of making sugars, just photosynthesis, and then it can end up in the ground, and so you can have a net reduction of greenhouse gases. So I would do that.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know about the no moral qualms.
That's part of it. You don't have to do something reprehensible, but you can. So if you ask a psychologist, they would do breed 20 twins and separate them at birth, kind of thing, which is morally questionable.
Okay, what I would do. Okay,
interesting.
I got
so
that.
you can go that route. You don't have to.
I got you. So I would engineer humans to be photosynthetic. So our arms will be green. We just go out. You want some food? You don't need to eat anything. You just stick your arms in the sun and you feed yourself. I would transform humans into photosynthetic organisms.
But somebody had to have done that math, right? Because the surface area you would need per photon absorbed. Like, can we do it as a?
Yeah. Plants are good at it.
Yeah. That's fun. Let's do it. Let's engineer some plant humans. Get your health up.
I'm trying to roll.
We're already photosynthetic. Some gurus claim they can live just that way.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah,
That's
there's some
cool.
videos of people that claim they haven't eaten in 20 years. They just absorb sunlight.
I don't think so.
Despite not being green or black.
No. I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, I don't think that's real. But we could.
That's what I would do if I had unlimited budget capacities and no moral qualms. I would turn humans into plants.
That'd be an interesting experiment.
Yeah.
You'd start with pigs, I guess. Is that the less morally reprehensible? Rats, maybe. Emunudino.
I don't see the queen. Where's the queen?
I don't know. There it is. Right there. Queen is very well protected.
Yeah, and those big blobs.
Because your bar, your green bar, whatever it is. All right. Emunudino. That's the Brazilian colleague, right?
Yes.
It's Brazil. It's the same time zone as us. I guess it depends where you are.
It can be an hour or two off.
Yeah.
Piracicaba.
But the question is, what is your favorite corn chromosome?
Oh, number 9. Chromosome number 9. The one that was studied quite a bit by Barbara McClintock was used to show that genetic recombination and physical recombination were the same thing, looking at knobs and looking in the microscope. And it's just got a lot of cool history. The shrunken 1 gene is there, which has G quadruplexes in its promoter.
Oh, there it is, right ahead. Is there a speed boost?
Oh, no.
Can you jump because the spikes keep messing you up, right?
Yeah.
That's why you can't stand a ball.
I'm in a ball now. Yeah, chromosome 9 is the winner for me by far. They're out of 10 chromosomes. This little bug. Can we skip this stage?
No, we can't, but you're so close.
I am? Okay.
You're so close on the queen level. But yeah, this is a nightmare. Oh, and the next one's back to another crazy. So we just crossed 10 o'clock, actually. So we're 2 hours in, so we have about an hour left. We'll say another half hour before we start playing some NARC. But, how much sunlight a person would have to get to absorb 2,000 to 2,500 calories per day?
Is that what we need to survive?
Something like that.
I would also engineer humans to need less.
Just make us smaller. less volume to surface ratio would help.
Yeah, like what do we do with all the energy?
Yeah.
That's a lot of light. You're right. We'd have to have like flaps of skin that you could open up like a tent.
Yeah, exactly.
So
like pseudo wings, solar panels.
Yeah, you need a lot of surface area.
Yeah.
But plants get by with not a lot of surface area. Whoops.
I don't think they do 2,000 calories a day. I think the balance is, yeah. We have to have skin flaps that work like leaves. Absolutely. Health and energy. Bump it up. All right. Contra wants to know, I'm driving, so I missed our guest information so far. Hopefully this is speech to text, but yes, it is. Okay, that's good. All right. Does our dear guest spend a fair bit of time with microscopes? Yes. The answer is yes. You can actually see the chromatin, which is fun. Can he comment on Bechamp's microzemas? Bechamp's microzemas? They're also known as somatids via naissance, an enderlin called protus. These are
pleomorphic thingies
that labeled weirdly, especially in dark field microscopy. Can our guest comment on microzemas?
I don't know what they are, so I could comment, but I would be making it up.
I respect your commitment to the truth.
Are they biological artifacts?
Yeah.
What does it say?
I don't know. I can look them up.
Yeah. Is that a speech to text?
Proposed by French scientist Antonin Beecham, were described as fundamental independent living units found in all organisms, both living and dead.
Really?
He believes they were basic building blocks of life.
I'll have to look that up. I'm not familiar. Sounds interesting.
Yeah, the answer is we don't know, but that's an intriguing question. All right, 10 o'clock. We could do another prediction. I do not know what they are, but they sound interesting. I agree. Oh, there we go. All right, we're going to the next level?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. Let's click. We're going to skip ahead. F10. We are on. We're going to get you through every level at the very end. No, that didn't work. Let's see. In game. It's holding F10, right? That's what we did last time. I'm going to hold F10 and we're going to skip to. Oh, there we go. Night attack. All right, we're level 8. All right, I think we've caught up on most questions. If you guys have any more questions, throw those in chat. But either way, we're happy to talk anymore. We're Ask a Scientist Gaming, Mediocre Gameplay, Expert Science. I'm Ken Hansen. I'm a photochemist. My guest today is Dr. Hank Bass, who's an expert in genetics and molecular biology, particularly like genetics and heritable traits as studied through corn. So yeah, he's happy to answer any questions on that. Well, we play Bugdom, so we're on level 8 of Bugdom. There are 10 levels total. We are grinding through this game, not necessarily without cheats, but we're learning about every level as we progress. And so yes, we are cheating as we go. Video game purists, avert your eyes. But yeah, one of my favorite questions to ask every single guest is, we've seen a lot of movies and TV shows, and they obviously, sometimes they consult experts, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you watch a movie and you're just disgusted by how they portray your expertise or your knowledge set, whether it be Frisbee related or genetics related. And so the question is, what TV show or movie gets your discipline right? What gets it wrong? And so this could be loosely defined. This could be corn in general, Children of the Corn, Field of Dreams, or it could be genetics, Gattaca, could be corn in movies like Interstellar. What movie or TV show gets it right? What gets it wrong?
I think the Gattaca gets it pretty right. I don't remember the details of that, but it was fairly accurate. What gets it wrong? Some of the CSI crime shows are just a little too...
Oh, how they process DNA.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a classic.
And how quickly they get their results.
Yeah.
And how definitive the results are.
Oh, man, it's a match.
Yeah.
It's just instantaneous. How hard can that be? CSI is the answer. I think that's the answer for every science expert, whether it's chemistry, physics.
You've heard that?
Oh yeah, that's been, I mean, in chemistry for sure, like, oh, put it in a mass spec, here's the molecule on the screen, like, oh my God.
I mean, this is not my field, but the ones where they take a picture and enhance, and you get all this resolution. There's no way that was in there to start with.
Yep, just inventing pixels that never existed.
Yeah, it's like that's not legit.
Oh, Cuddle Puppy has a response.
Yeah.
In my opinion, the only movie that understands how humans can be scientifically turned into insects is Human Centipede. Are you familiar with this movie?
No, is it good?
Oh my God, it is a gross out horror comedy where someone decides they can daisy chain humans together front to back. It's called the Human Centipede, and there's actually 3 of them. So Cuddle Puppy, there are 3 movies that accurately capture humans into insects. But counterpoint, I will say The Fly is a good example of human
accurate
intersect. I don't know how you splice DNA together, but absolutely not. So yeah,
I guess Jurassic Park was a bit of a stretch to recreate a dinosaur from a little bit of amber. You can get little bits of DNA. It's unlikely you're going to get the whole genome, and much less put it back together correctly.
yeah.
And so that was a stretch in principle. There's some bits there, but chemically that's not very feasible.
Yeah. Cuddle Puppy. No, the sequels threw all the scientific accuracy out the window, so I was disappointed. So note to everyone, Cuddle Puppy does not endorse Human Centipede 2 and 3. Human Centipede 1 is acceptable.
Okay. But then they got carried away.
Yeah, then it just became too unrealistic.
Yeah.
Cuddle Puppy, I did not expect Human Centipede to be invoked, but while we're playing Bugdom, might as well, because all the rules are off. Are there any that have just gotten it wrong, like genetically engineered foods? I don't know.
I mean, that's
examples.
more of a judgment of whether you think it's good or bad or safe.
Yeah.
So it's not.
It's not a question of if it can be done as much as should it, or is it ethical. That's fair.
I don't remember any where I thought, like, this is so wrong, I'm going to turn the TV off.
Man, what was the latest Jurassic World movie where they engineered locusts?
This looks like a bomb. How do I set this off?
I don't know. Can you? You can sit on it.
Wow, I wish I knew what I could do with that.
Maybe let's not make the plants produce glyphosate. Glyphosate?
That is Roundup. That is the herbicide. A lot of companies have made their... Oh, if I can set that thing on fire. Boom.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, I see. They breathe fire, and so if I can get them to breathe on the firecrackers, I will trick them into exploding themselves. Yeah, do that. Do it. Do it.
That is interesting.
I'm just gonna sit here and wait.
Let's skip. We have it's 10:10. We have about 20 minutes before we dive into NARC.
All right.
So you want to do 10 minutes on each next level?
Yeah. Yeah.
If so, what's our cheat? I don't remember.
To get to the next level.
I think it's tilde F1, but let me double. Yeah, I might as well hit it.
Hit it.
Yeah. All right, we're counting that. We passed that level. Congratulations.
We got bonuses.
Oh, Contra has a good one.
Yeah.
Feed Me Seymour. Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
That's space-based.
Yeah, that's a little bit off.
Do you think they had ATCG DNA sequence, or was it a different? Because they ate humans. Presumably, it can digest at least what we're made of.
I think they would have regular DNA. I always wanted to pitch an episode of Star Trek where there were these organisms that had triple-stranded DNA. And the double-stranded DNA organisms and the triple-stranded DNA organisms war with each other. They hated each other because they thought the triple-stranded organisms were just unnatural mutants.
Abominations.
Yeah.
It is an odd number.
And then it is an odd number. It does have some genetic problems. But then they found out after flying all over the universe that the double-stranded DNA organisms were the freaks of nature. But I never got to pitch that to Star Trek.
That's like Twilight Zone reveal there. I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so I'm on a new level.
Yeah, this is level 9.
It's still
Assault
in the dark.
on the anthill. Finally, the end is in sight. Oh God, look at that.
Oh my goodness.
At least they showed where water was on this one.
Oh, we got fire. And
So you have to kick the pipe.
I do?
I know this one from the final level. Like, you have to break the pipe and it'll spray out water or something.
Oh, to put the fire out?
Yep.
I'm trying.
All right.
Am I in the
I'm
fire?
sad I missed the first hour of Dr. Bass, but I'm really happy you're here. Thank you for Doctor.
Hey.
I mean, you were skeptical at first, but I mean the gameplay, it's flown along. So
Yeah.
oh man. All right. Contra wants to know, what have we learned about maize that we can apply to other things? I asked this question from a position that I wish to avoid monoculture at all costs, but would I like to know how to improve my regenerative ideology as much as possible? So going back to the original, what have we learned about maize that we can apply to other things? I mean, you talked a little bit earlier about how it can be applied to the telomeres.
Yeah, most of so there's two types of stresses people study in plant biology, biotic and abiotic. So the biotic stress is against an organism or a virus or a fungus or bacterium. And sometimes those are more species specific, but the abiotic stresses, the rules that apply are usually transferable to other species, like how plants deal with drought or flooding or extreme temperatures, heat shock, cold shock. Those pathways are very conserved, and so it's very common that someone discovers something in bean, and then you can find the corresponding genes in maize and look for the varieties that express those. I'm kicking this pipe and nothing's happening.
Yeah, it might be you have to hit a valve. Is there a thing?
Maybe that thing.
Oh,
Oh, it is a valve.
Yeah, okay, I was wrong.
No, it does.
You got to kick something related to the pipe.
It's the valve.
Yeah.
It's hard to get oriented.
The angle is terrible.
Dude.
Oh, there. It turned right. Oh, there it is. Flooding.
Is it turning?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, are we putting the fire out?
Yep.
Oh, now I'm swimming again?
All right. I'm catching up on something.
I'm trying to think if there is a... If you,
oh, wow. Lori requested a factoid 12 minutes ago, and I completely missed it. So, Hank, you got to drop a factoid on the audience while you fight the pipes and the fire and whatever it might be.
Okay. So, you might remember from your biology class a long time ago that we know a lot about inheritance from Mendel, who studied peas, and he's famous for studying Mendel's wrinkled pea, which is a trait that skips a generation and helped us understand diploid genetics.
Oh, do you want any more?
I'm good. Thank
right.
you. So the factoid is that the mutant that causes the wrinkled pea was caused by a jumping gene, a transposon, and it landed in a starch-producing enzyme. And so if the seed doesn't produce starch, it accumulates the sugars that are making the starch. And so that's why it's a sweet pea. And so Mendel's wrinkled pea, the famous mutation, was caused by a jumping gene. I'm going to roll out of here.
Oh, so he had no idea. He was just like, it's different.
He had no idea. He had no idea what DNA was, what genetics was.
Yeah. It's impressive how far he got.
He just noticed that if you cross wrinkled peas with round peas, you get all round peas. But the grandchildren, the wrinkled pea reappears. So he helped us understand the concept of recessive mutations. And a related factoid is, a lot of times in genetics we use letters and symbols for the gene names, and we use big R for the round pea and little r for the wrinkled pea. But it turns out the R stands for rugosus, which means rough. And so the wrinkled pea had a rough appearance. And the maize equivalent of the wrinkled pea is a wrinkled seed, which is a sweet corn. So the sweet pea and the sweet corn are quite similar. Both of them fail to accumulate starch in the seed, but instead they accumulate the precursors of starch, which are the soluble sugars.
That is fun. All right.
Am I making? I'm in the lava. I just
think you might
cooked.
be dead.
Oh
Maybe.
my goodness!
All right. Should we jump to level 10? We got about 10 minutes before NARC.
Okay.
Let's do level 10.
Let's do level 10. I
right.
told you I'm going to beat this game
Oh, count it.
with Ken's
All
help.
right. F10. I mean, the thing is, you could go download this next time you're on stream, speed run, I should look
Yeah.
up the speedrun record. What's your guess? What's the fastest?
Oh, to get through this whole thing?
Yeah. What's the fastest somebody's beat this game?
Probably 7.5 minutes.
.com Bugdom. I'm sure there's a glitch you can go through some kind
No,
of
I'm
wall
gonna
or
guess more like
something.
12 minutes. So this is the last level I'm on now?
Yep. Bugdom. There's only 2 times here. The record is 7 minutes and 26 seconds.
Oh, I was so close.
amazing.
7.5.
Good guess.
That was a really good guess.
All special clovers, collecting all special
Maybe it was
clovers
me.
is 20 minutes.
Oh,
Maybe it's you, Phantom Man 98.
Yeah.
7 minutes and 26 seconds.
Yeah, that was give or take.
I'll send
give or
you that
take 4
video
seconds.
when I follow up with you, because, man, that's crazy.
They must have been in roll mode in this mode here where you go fast. Woo!
All right, Contour wants to know, okay, serious question.
Bam.
Is replicating base code always base 4?
Is replicating.
Base code. I mean, it's ATCG, right? So it's 4.
Yeah. So the replication uses what's called complementary sequence. So A is complementary to T and G is complementary to C. So one strand is used to make a copy of the other strand in the complementary sequence. But yeah, there's only those 4 nucleotides.
But there are artificial nucleotides, right? But they haven't been...
They're not in nature.
Yeah.
So there's, after replication, there's modification of the bases. And so they can change their chemistry, but they're all based on ACG or T. So to my knowledge, it's just those 4.
As far as we know, every living creature uses those 4. It's interesting as
Yeah.
I just
That's
finished
not much, is it?
just finished a book. What is it called? Hail Mary Project. It's by the same author that did The Martian. Andy, what is
Oh,
his name?
look, there's the guy.
Mary. So Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. And it has aliens that have our same DNA. So it supports panspermia, the thought that life on Earth originated somewhere else and shares DNA. But as far as we know, it's all ATCG, right?
Yeah,
Oh, and the hint on this one is you need to find the main big guy.
I did. I saw
Lure him
him.
next to one of the pipes,
Yeah.
and then put
And then
him
hit the
out
pipe.
with the water. And then when you put out his fire, then you can like kick him and hurt him. So you need to like lure him wherever he is, stand next to the pipe and bring him there.
All right, let's just look around, see where he is.
Thank you, Dr. Hansen, because that's what I was truly wondering, and thank you, Dr. Bass. What's so cool about DNA, and this is an outsider, I'm a novice in the
Yeah.
area of DNA, is that, like, Charles Darwin knew DNA existed before we knew DNA existed, because it had to be some kind of genetic transmission mechanism, and it had to be repeatable and reproducible, but not perfect, is how evolution would work. And so his evolutionary tree, his branches, predicted DNA, what, 50 years before we actually isolated and characterized it? Like, that's
Yeah,
profound to me.
the properties of the genetic material is they have to be able to replicate and also mutate and change and evolve and give you variation to select on. So yeah, that was very insightful.
I mean, his tree essentially predicted it had to be the same genetic information. I mean, I guess it could have changed over time. You might have got additional letters for different species, but man, what foresight. Just brilliant. And I can't believe we're still debating teaching that in the classroom. I guess not on any substantial level, but anyway. I
I'm not finding big dude. I saw him once.
don't know if this is another like, nope, there it is.
there it was.
Yeah, just walk, get your health
Get
up,
him over
maybe.
here.
Yeah, just
Get
stand
over
next to
here.
the pipe because you got health.
Kick that pipe. Come on.
Well, there you go. Now look at him. Oh, there you go. Kick him. Yep, that counts. Another hit. Get another one. Boom. Get your pipe again. Watch your health bar. You might as well health up and just stand there. Get it. Get it. Oh, there we go. Oh man, sorry I'm distracted. Hank is on the final boss. We're gonna focus on this while we don't answer questions.
Gee, he's trying to run away from me.
Hank is
He can't get away.
he is not leaving my house
Get
until he
out.
beats this boss. And as much as I like Hank, he's not staying here tonight. So we're beating this game. All right, kick it.
I'm trying.
What help? The health bar. Oh, Yeah, so just walk around.
There he is. Is that
No, that's one of the small ones. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so just keep an eye on your health, and I think it's... Okay, health up. Kick it.
I need to kick this. I need to kick this thing, right?
Oh, health up.
How's my health going so quick? Because this guy.
I think every one of those
killing me.
hits. So maybe turn your camera. Might help. Oh yeah, kick the pipe from this side.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Okay, go back, go back. He's put out. Kick him, kick him, kick him. He's not on fire.
Oh, he's not.
Yep. Oh, now kick the pipe again. There you go. Okay, now kick him. Sorry, we got business here, ladies and gentlemen. Science takes a backseat to gaming when we have to beat a boss. So kick him again. Oh, now he's on fire. So kick the pipe.
Jeez. With the
Health up. Kick him, kick him. There we go. That's causing damage. All right, get back to the pipe. Bring him closer. Health up. I think this is going to be our routine. This is the first time I've seen a guest reach the end of a chosen game, and this game is topical. I wish I had points to give because this is fantastic. We're doing our best. We might have cheated. Health up. Health again. You're low. You're low. You're low. Free.
Oh.
Oh no. It's okay. We got one more life. We're so close.
You see him? Oh, he's right behind me.
Yeah, those guys can hurt you too. I think as long as you keep your health up. Which one is that? F3, F4? There you go. Kick that pipe. There you go. Okay, he's out. Now kick him. There you go. Good one. Might get it. Yeah. Take that. We got it. We got it. Oh, the king. Oh, we got a speed strat. Okay, get away. He's on fire. Get your health back up. So close. I believe. Let's do it. Just make sure your health stays high. And that, I think the rest will take care of itself. It's getting close. Is he out? Nope. Get him close to the pipe. Oh, there you go. Now he's out. Kicks.
It's not kicking that thing. I need to.
Get health up again. Nice. Kick the pipe. Okay, he's probably out. Again. Oh, take that. Oh, so close. Look at that. 10%. Fires back. Get back to the pipe with health up. Yeah, you might as well just absorb the hits and get health up. Get back to the pipe. Health up. There we go. Health. Kick him. Can't see him. We're
Dude.
gonna kick him. I hope you guys are entertained. Mediocre gameplay. We got this. Pipe. All right. Health. Health. Just make sure it stays full because we're not dying here. Kick him. Oh. He's moving now. All right. Water again. Oh, get that pipe. There we go. All right, one more kick. One more. Come on. Yeah. All right, one more water. There we go. We got this, ladies and gentlemen. Kick.
Got him.
Oh,
Did I get him?
Is that it? We did it. We did it. Oh, man.
My kids will never believe it. Oh, look, I'm on the throne.
Oh, this was ascending to power. This was.
Look at
Wow.
that. I got to
Ladybugs
shoot.
you
Oh, they're
saved.
so happy. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Holy crap. We did it.
Woo! Yes.
Now he's in prison. Congratulations.
Yeah.
You captured him, and now I can only assume they're going to torture him. I don't know.
He looks small. He looks small now that he's been captured.
We did it, ladies and
So
gentlemen.
small.
Beating a game other than NARC, yes, it's happened before, not often, but we did it.
Yeah.
Sure, we cheated, but we earned it. Oh man, congratulations. This is truly historic. Everyone, you were here for a moment in the history where
I beat
105
Bugdom with kids help.
the selfie for your kids.
Yeah, they won't believe it.
Oh, we did it. That boss
I
fight
feel
was-
achieved now.
Yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like I've done something.
I mean,
That's awesome.
This you did it. Congratulations.
Thank you.
GG's. But 7 minutes and 26 seconds to beat the entire
That's
game
ridiculous.
is insane.
That's someone that knows exactly where they're going, memorized.
But even with that, like, those levels
how
are
many
huge.
thousands of minutes did they spend learning to do that?
Oh,
Factor
man.
that in.
Speaking of thousands of minutes,
All right.
it's time for NARC. Are you ready for our next game?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to transition over. I do have some questions that I need to catch up on, so I'll get
All
to
right.
those, but we're going to transition out of Bugdom. We'll switch to that system. A lot of moving parts. Oh man, that feels good though. Like you earned that. You got to see every level. So before you press start on NARC, I'm going to set you up. Do you want to see the clock or not see the
No.
clock? No. Okay, I'll keep the clock over here, but I'm
mean,
going to pop it up on screen so the audience can see it. Live split. There we go. Okay, there's our clock. A victory 20 years in the making.
Yeah.
you
Now I can
flush
retire.
any
Can I retire
priority.
now?
I mean, you
I'm
love what
good.
you do. Why would you retire?
That's a good question.
I like it. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to NARC. Every single guest on stream. Oh, well, Little Lion has redeemed Take a Drink. So, cheers. We'll take a sip
Cheers.
before we get to the game, NARC. Thank you all for joining us. Mediocre Gameplay, Expert Science. One of the things I make every single guest do is close the night with a game called NARC. This is a bargain bin game for the NES system. Oh yeah, this is from YSP and Dr. Dennis. So apparently they're watching, having
Oh,
fun, asking
nice.
questions, which is awesome.
Nice.
Thank you. Dr. Dennis, you need to come on the stream. So send me an email if you're interested. We will set up a time because it is a lot of fun. Maybe you can play Bugdom.
He has Diplomatico.
I do. I have whatever you want. This is how I pay my guests, and alcohol and drinks of their choice. So, but we're going to play NARC. NARC is a bargain bin game for the Nintendo Entertainment System. It was originally an arcade game, then got ported to the NES, got some changes, got rid of some of the blood and violence and drugs, but nonetheless, it is a game about winning the war on drugs. You can see Just Say No as
Just
the
Say
license
No.
plays. The previous license plate said Say No or Die, but Nintendo cleaned it up a bit. But anyway, here's the lore behind
Looks
this
like
game.
it says just say yo. It's a little pixelated.
It's a little pixelated. The tagline is, no one had the guts until now. All right, Hank, you are Max Force. Your mission, bust Mr. Big and destroy his dreaded criminal empire. Seize all contraband, stolen money, illegal weapons, use rocket bombs, high-powered machine guns, apprehend all suspects, protect the innocent, and punish the guilty. Stop at nothing. So, in addition to winning the war on bugs with Bugdom, we're going to win the war on drugs with NARC. So, Hank, go ahead and press start. As soon as you press start and gain control of your character, so you are on Nintendo controller, this guy,
This box.
the original NES crippler controller, not ergonomic in any way. So go ahead and press the start button. And then, yeah, I'll walk you through a little bit of the instructions.
Yeah, I'm gonna need some help. Is that me?
Yes, you're going to take control right now. And clock is going, so your goal is to go right as fast as you can, complete these levels as fast as you can, basically find a door. You have two buttons, but they control four things, and so if you tap A, it's a rocket, and if you hold A, it's bullets. If you tap B, it's jump. If you hold B, it's squat. And so the big key rate limiting step for most people in this game is going to be a jump rocket. So it's tapping B and then tapping A, which is something you might want to practice as you go. But do it while walking to the right, because your goal is to go right, come through doors as quickly as possible. So yeah. Will do would love to join you. That's awesome. Thank you. Oh, JHD. That's Jonathan Dennis. So yeah, that would be awesome to have you on.
Now what's happening? I walk through this door.
Grab that red safe card. Sorry, I was distracted.
Yeah.
And go to the right, find the door. Keep going right, and you'll find a door.
Right.
But yeah, let's
that right.
catch up on some of these questions. Contra, you're going to be distracted while you're trying to speed run the war on drugs.
Oh, I'm getting bit by a dog.
Contra wants to know, are abiotic stresses similar to hormetic stressors? Abiotic stresses similar to hormetic stressors. So go through that door, go right. Don't worry, you have infinite lives, infinite rockets, infinite bullets. You are going to win the war on drugs. It's a question of how long it takes you.
Nancy Reagan would be proud.
Yes, this game written and directed by Nancy Reagan. Just kidding. But our Contra's question:
There's another door.
Are abiotic? Yeah. So you have the key card. So swipe your card because this game is
How do I swipe
realistic.
the card?
You have to touch that and then go in the door.
No.
See, realistic.
Right
All right. Are abiotic stresses similar to hormetic stressors?
I'm
So
not sure what a hormetic stressor is.
That is a what is a hormetic stressor? This is like internal versus external stressors. But yeah, Contra, if you can clarify on that, we'll revisit that question. Little Lion wants to know, how do you improve teamwork and communication skills as a scientist? Oof. I'll give you one word answer is practice.
Practice and by example. I think when you have groups of people, you kind of model the behavior that you think is good. The best way to teach that. Am I still alive?
Yep. I mean, you'll lose lives, but it's fine. We got infinite lives. You will rise back from the dead and win the war on drugs.
I go in this door with the arrow.
A hormetic stressor is a type of stressor that in low dose can induce beneficial effects on an organism, while a high dose can be harmful or toxic.
So I would say, yeah, abiotic stresses are probably similar. Low amounts of those cause a response that probably strengthen the plant.
So you'll need to shoot these guys wearing black with bullets. So holding A. So hold A and shoot them. That button. Yep. So you're going to shoot those guys, and one of them is going to drop a blue card.
Blue card.
Yep. There you go. Blue card right there. Pick that up. Go to the door.
This
put it
door
in the
over
slot.
here.
Yep. Put in the slot. Go through the door. Perfect. Level 2 done. I mean, isn't that kind of universal curve for biological things? Small amount is okay.
That might be like a little bit of drought probably makes the roots grow further, and then it's more drought tolerant.
Even like small amounts of plutonium is okay, but a lot is bad.
Is that true?
It depends on the creature, but a small amount of most things is okay. Even water, until you get too much.
But yeah, I think abiotic stresses are.
Lori has redeemed Take a Drink because you're going to be driving a car in NARC. So cheers, Hank, once again. Congratulations on your win in Bugdom, and congratulations on your progressing in NARC. Right. So cheers.
Cheers.
Hopefully, Lori, have a drink in hand. Cheers. So you're saying alcohol is a hormetic stressor?
Yeah.
It is a performance-enhancing drug to some degree. Oops, I was a little... My liver says yes. That's awesome. That biology experiment going on. Take a drink. Cheers, Little Lion. Lori, cheers. We're having fun hanging out. It's much more fun to do this during the summer. Nobody's waking up to teach or has meetings tomorrow. Hopefully.
I have crosses to do tomorrow morning.
What does morning mean in that case? What time are you getting up?
6 o'clock.
So keep going right. It's not worth waiting.
There's no benefit to going
keep
back.
Progressing, yep.
So I get up at 6, I get out to the field by 7, so I can set up the crosses, 7:30.
And it's a little cool still in the morning.
Yeah. And the pollen shed's around 8 a.m. to 10.
Little Lion, thank you for joining us. Oh, go down. Gonna keep going right. Yep. Those are technically dumpsters according to the video game. Those are bombs. You want to avoid those. Keep walking right. We missed a car. I apologize. Mundinho, thank you. Now a real game.
Yes.
Both are bargain bin games, but this was one of my favorites this was literally one from my childhood. We didn't have a lot of games, and it was like if we got a game, it was literally a bargain bin game, and so this was one of them. So this is one that I played on stream when I first started the stream, and then it became a recurring game.
How do I get over
now
this?
You got to jump. So tap B, gentle B touch, less than that. There you go. Physics. Levitate over the top.
Yeah, okay.
This game's realistic.
Just like working out in the gym. Now what do I do with this guy?
Nah, keep going. Just keep walking. Yep. You can jump over. You can do all sorts of things. Much love. Bargain bin games are the only real games. Bargain bin games are my favorite games to speed run, just because very few people do it, and there's so many things to discover. Like with NARC, it's a really fun speed. Well, I don't know if it's a fun speed run. It's a fun speed run to figure out new things with. So I enjoyed it. But yeah, while Hank is doing this, while he's trying to beat his colleagues in speed running, and Jonathan, you'll have to do this someday as well, competing with your colleagues. We'll see the scoreboard's over there, actually. I printed off one.
Oh. Adam Dewan is on the top of the list.
Yeah. Actually, no, my guest from last week beat Adam. He's the new record holder. So Adam was 16.
Gotta update your list.
Yeah. So I only print off occasionally. We did it for a party that we had, but yeah.
How do I get rid of these dogs?
So you can press both buttons and squat and shoot simultaneously, but
that gets rid of dogs?
Yep. It turns the dogs into puppies, so realistic.
Aww.
Yeah, you don't have to kill the dogs unless you hit them with a rocket.
Is that a go-kart? Do I jump on it?
Yep, jump in that.
Let's go.
So press B. So press B to jump. You literally have to jump in the car. So tap it, gentle on the tap. Go down a little bit. Press down.
Oh, down.
B, yeah, you have to be jumping, in contact with the car. So press B there. All right, stay on the bottom of the screen. Go up to the white line, and then you'll hit a wall, and that's fine. But you got to book distance, then jump, keep going. Next time you invite Hank, please let's play Space Invaders.
Yay!
Depending on how quick he beats this, we might still have time for Space Invaders. I do have it queued up. We have it on the list. But Hank committed to beating Bugdom, so we only played 2 games tonight because we had to beat Bugdom. So, all right. So I think I've caught up on all questions. If not, please put your questions in chat again. I apologize if I missed them. We got about 20 minutes left in the stream. If somebody has a suggestion on who we should raid next, start thinking about that. I mean, it might change in the next 10 minutes, but we need a suggestion on who to raise. But yeah. That completion was amazing. Stay on the bottom of the screen, and this will take you all the way to the end. Yeah, you beat the boss. I mean, that's sure we skipped levels, but you beat the boss at the end, so that was totally worth it.
But the Bugdom?
Mm-hmm. Got through 10 levels, but man, that speed run's gonna be glorious to watch.
I've never seen most of those levels.
Yeah.
Door?
Door right there.
The one in the middle?
Yep, that gray thing is a door. Yep, because hitboxes make sense.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have a question for you. So we talked about the movies. We talked about moral conundrums. Man, what else? Do you have a favorite equation?
Not really.
Don't work with equations much.
I like molarity.
Molarity is a good one. Straight up concentration.
Moles per liter.
Yep. Moles per volume is all Hank needs.
I'm easy. That way.
Like that scene in The Jerk. All I need is moles per liter.
Yeah.
So keep going to the right. You'll do the last door on the right. Ooh, what is your next challenge in genetics as a scientist? So genetics in general, maybe not just maize genetics, but like genetics in general. What's the next big leap?
This door right
CRISPR
here
was pretty huge, right? Yep, go right. You're going to find a car.
Yeah,
Misadventures, you're back just in time for some NARC.
I think that genome editing
So
and
get the white card.
chromosome editing.
So you're going to go through the door, but don't press up too much. Left. See that silver card slot? Hit that. Through the door. Man, you guys missed out if you weren't here 2 weeks ago. Tom Usek, he beat NARC in, it was like 12 minutes and 30 seconds. So he beat our previous record by 4 minutes.
Whoa,
And
that's a major...
Well, so I didn't realize this, but Tommy was not messing around. He had watched like several old videos, so he knew the game before he came in and played it. So he was like, I'm going to commit and beat this. So congratulations to Tommy. He's our new leader on the leaderboard. So yeah, he's the go-to expert. So you're going to go left. And there's going to be, those are marijuana plants, by the way.
They
Some
blow
of them
up?
explode.
Exploding marijuana plants.
Yep. You know, the game's realistic.
Yeah. That one didn't explode.
So you're going to shoot those guys with bullets instead of rockets, and one of them's going to drop a green card. So hold the A button.
Oh, okay.
Yep, not tapping it. Tapping will be rockets. So kill that one, turn around. That one, bullets, green card.
You see it?
There, through the door, perfect.
Where's the green card? No.
Did you test him for PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs, during NARC? I mean, there was alcohol. Does that count?
Yes. That counts.
It is performancing. I don't know.
Is this where the big hat man comes
Apparently it is. No, you got a few levels left to go. This is the clowns with knives and whatnot. So Performance enhancing indeed. But 12 minutes is respectable at NARC. That's a pretty good time. The world record on this is 9 minutes and 4 seconds. So yeah, 12 with infinite lives and rockets is still pretty solid. So shout out to Tommy. But yeah, Hank is playing NARC. He's trying to beat it for the first time, win the war on drugs, his first time on the stream. So we're going to cheer him on, but we're also going to ask him questions while he progresses. And so I have one for you. So I grew up in backwoods Minnesota. In fact, my football field was adjacent to a cornfield. So if you kicked the ball too far, it was in a cornfield. And we spent a lot of time running through corn. Also, picking rock during the summer was a common job. The other common job was corn detasseling,
yes,
which is very common. You pay high schoolers to go around and pick the tassels out of corn. Why do we do that, and what are the implications of doing that?
the number one employer of high school students in the Midwest. So corn detasseling allows you to make a particular hybrid corn because you want to combine two different varieties. One is going to be the mom and one is going to be the dad.
Just go directly.
And so corn will pollinate itself and it'll pollinate other plants. And the companies making the F1 hybrids, they want one variety as the male pollen source and they want the other variety as the female, the ears. But the females will also make pollen, but you don't want those to pollinate themselves. So if you cut the tassels off of one set of plants, then they can only be females. And so it allows you to sort of do this large scale outdoor unidirectional pollination. So you remove the tassels from one of the two parents, and it has to be the female then, because the tassel is the male flowers. And so you just have to manually detassel them.
Right there. I mean, I love that that's just like a casual high schooler doing a little bit of genetic engineering.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
they're determining the direction of the cross.
So have they, was that an accidental maybe you don't know the history of it. Was that an accidental discovery? Was this strategic?
No, that was just how you plant two varieties. One's going to be the mom and one's going to be the dad in adjacent rows. And then you just cut the tassels off the one that you want to be the mom. And then all the pollen comes from the dad and pollinates the mom plants.
All right, so you can hit both buttons, hold them down. There you go.
That turns them into puppies?
Exactly. Cuddle puppy castration equals genetic engineering.
Yeah.
Well, not when you say it like that. All right, so this guy you got to shoot with rockets. So this is going to be tapping A. Oh, there you go. That's one. Nice. That's a good time.
What?
So yeah, kill the puppies, kill everything on screen. Shoot the puppies. Yep, there you go. Keep going. Kill those guys. He'll come back. The wheelchair guy will come back twice. So rockets again.
What's a rocket?
That's tapping A.
Hey. What about that monk that looks like Mendel?
The flasher. So
how did Mendel get in this game?
All right, tap A for rockets.
Oh, it's the tap.
Yep, there you go. Yep, do a bunch of those. Eventually you're going to hit him. So clear out the guys on screen. Wheelchair guy will come back. So the Y chromosome is disappearing everywhere.
Is it?
There you go.
Am I good?
So you're going to clear out these guys. Yep. You can practice with rockets, which is probably a good thing because you're going to need to rocket the next boss.
The one with the hat?
There you go. Yep. All right. Tap A. A little lighter on the A button. So you see when rockets don't come out, it's because you pressed it too hard. Or pressed it too long. There you go.
What's happening? He's not responding.
So clear. Yeah. So go a little higher. You can see he's lower on the screen.
Yeah. Dude.
So let's try. So that was bullets. There you go. Yeah, the touch on this is a pain in the butt. But
how do I get the wheelchair guy?
So rockets. So fire. There you go. That's number 2. Okay, you need to hit him one more time. So kill everything on screen. He'll come back one more time. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, it is time to ask Hank. He's happy to answer. We have 12 minutes left in the stream, depending on how long he answers this. We might get to the little Space Invaders, but yeah, what else can I ask you? What is the Earth is flat / anti-vax equivalent of your field? Probably genetic engineering is problematic. Oh, safeguard right there, that left. There you go. Get that guy, go through the door.
Let me through. That door? Oh, I got to get over to the
Yep, gold card. Yep, swipe it in. So is there
probably
conspiracy?
that.
Genetic engineering
There's a
fad?
new one that seed oils are bad for you.
Whoa,
That's kind of-
I have not heard that. What's the foundation of that?
It's just some random nonsense, I think.
All right, top of the screen, you're going to face to the right, you're going to jump, and you're going to rocket. So jump on the way down, rocket. There you go. That's the general strategy. Run away from him, get some distance, turn around, jump rocket over and over again.
Am I far enough away now?
Yep. Ooh, that was close. A little lighter on the rocket. You can jump. There's a bunch of room on the right if you want to
Okay.
get you some distance while he shoots tongues at you. I hope Jonathan Dennis is still watching, getting advice for future streams. He's going to practice it up. Oh, that was close. A little gentler on the tapping.
On the tapping of the A button?
Yeah. It's basically you're pressing it too long, which means you're probably pressing it too hard because it's contact. It's electrical contact.
Silly.
Yep. So gentle taps. There you go. Ooh, that was close. That was really close.
It was? I can't get out from under this.
Man, this is a
Funky
nice
dude.
dipping rum. I really like this.
It
Thank
is.
you for introducing this. I'm excited to have this in the collection. All right, have you observed any experimental differences between maize that was grown with versus without different electrical potentials in the soil? Ooh,
That's
electrolysis
interesting.
to the
I
soil.
have not
Wow.
done that.
Are there people looking into that? I know
There
that-
probably are. We don't have the devices to measure that, but maybe in a greenhouse where you had a sort of controlled environment.
So I know there's somebody in engineering. It's like biomedical engineering is doing electrolysis of soil. And
Oh.
It gives you different like nitrogen radicals and stuff.
I'm not surprised. It would have a big effect on the uptake of the nutrients and the.
Yeah, what species are active, and it will matter. I guess it would depend on the voltage and how much range you're doing, like redox chemistry. Because yeah, you can make all sorts of different amine species. I imagine the uptake is very different depending on what you generate.
Dude,
But yeah,
the tongue.
this is the rate limiting step on this particular
God.
boss. So turn around, try it again. Yeah, it's getting the
Am I
two
hitting
taps.
it? Am I hitting it too soon?
If a rocket doesn't come out, you're hitting it too long.
Too long?
Yep. So you're holding the button or pressing it too hard. So tap V. There you go. A little earlier on that rocket. So that when he squats, you're pressing it too hard or too long. Yeah, you have 1/10 of a second to get the right tap in. All right. So you haven't observed that personally, but people are studying that presumably. But that's not a
Yeah.
genetic impact, right? That's going to be a.
Well, there could be a genetic basis for how the plant responds to it. And so if there were a variation in the plant response
A little later on the rocket, that would have been
a
good.
little later,
Yep.
but
So it's on the down, but yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. So turn around, try it. Run away, try again.
are you saying before he gets on top of the
Yeah,
runaway?
it just saves you some time, right? You can get away. Turn around, jump rocket, run away. There you go. And then I do that the right way and on the right side until you get reasonable distance. You're sick of it? I can intervene, but then you get an asterisk. It's up to you. You're actually reasonable time frame. I recommend spending a few more minutes on it. So I'd go to the right. You have plenty of room on the right.
How do you know that?
So get
Oh,
the
from this
distance.
up here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. So turn around, jump rocket. There you go. Okay, rocket to the face. No more jumps. All right, run away. Get down here. You're gonna use bullets.
Down lower?
Yep, between these two black lines, a little higher. Okay, turn around, hold A. You're gonna shoot bullets. When he comes down, you're gonna shoot a. Yep, there you go. You saw the vertebrae disappear. There you go. All right, walk away. You're gonna move up and down and keep shooting him. A little higher on the screen. There you go. Then you're to the end of the screen on this side, so run to the other way. There you go. Nice. You got another vertebrae. We are so close, ladies and gentlemen. If you have any last minute questions for Hank, we got 7 minutes left in the stream. He's going to beat this. He's going to win the war on drugs. Where everyone's going to be happy. We'll save trillions of dollars. You can spend that on science research rather than a lost war on drugs, but that's another rant entirely. Keep going. Pro gamer moment, absolutely. Your time's looking good. Turn around, bullets. You got to be lower. There you go. Okay, get it.
Got to be
away.
lower.
Turn around. No, you're okay. Shoot him. Boom. Go right. Find the door. Holy crap. There we are, ladies and gentlemen. We have beaten Mr. Big and his dreaded criminal empire. There is only one level left in the game after you get your card slot here. And we'll explain that one because that's the easiest level.
I got to get this
Card slot. All right, congratulations. That is the hard level. Now you're on to Silver Forfeiture, the level. You don't have to collect gold, just go to the end. But you can steal gold from the dreaded criminal empire. There you go.
Get that gold.
Mundino wants the meiosis dance. Is that a thing?
Yeah.
All right, congratulations. 21 minutes and 57 seconds with no assist. Let's see where that
First
puts you on
time
the
ever.
scoreboard. 21:57.
I'll do the meiosis stance for Mingino. Homologs, replicated, pairing, segregation, meiosis 2. Woohoo!
Is that something you teach in class?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Oh, wow. Go ahead and put your initials in. Man, what's fun is I've completely forgotten that, the stages of replication. This guy, this controller. I've completely forgotten that, and so I do review of the I don't remember. I think it might be A. There you go. But I do review of like the K through 12 standardized testing in Florida, and so I'll do the chemistry portion. But sometimes they'll have like a secondary where I do biology, and it's asking about meiosis and mitosis, and I'm like, I'm sorry. Now? Yep, and there we go.
Oh, I'm a high score.
We did it.
Look at that.
We won Bugdom. We won the war on drugs. We have 5 minutes left before 11, but I think we're going to call, unless you really want to do a little bit of Space Invaders.
Is it quick?
I can get it up pretty quick.
Yeah.
So let's do that.
Last minutes.
Yeah.
I'll redo the meiosis stance while you're doing that.
All right, show 'em.
Homolog 1, replication, find your partner, that's meiotic pairing. Meiosis 1, separate the homologs. Meiosis 2, separate the sister chromatids. Woohoo!
All right, we're going to get, so Space Invaders is going to be that one.
Okay.
So I'll take this controller with it. So we're playing on an arcade, we're playing a MAME system. All right, let me get this. I'll make sure I remember how to get this going. There we go. We need another GGs.
So many buttons.
All right. There we go. We're getting you a whole lot of quarters. Are you guys ready, ladies and gentlemen? This is the original Space Invaders arcade game. So Hank is going to play a little bit. So joystick, and I think it's just the A button and shoot. There you go.
This button shoot? Okay.
I don't even know if there's sound on this one. If you guys can hear anything, let me know. Volume might be low. You guys need to hear those shots being fired. So is this the one you played, the arcade one back in the day?
Yeah.
Classic. All right. There you go, Mundino. We got some Space Invaders in the last minute. There's definitely some sound. That's awesome. Might be quiet, but whatever. We're doing the last 5 minutes. If you guys have suggestions on anyone we should rate? Oh my God, what is that? That's an abomination. Hopefully that wasn't too loud.
Oh, I just got lost one live. Okay. I'm gonna be able to get these.
Oh, what a great game. It's one of the all-time classics. But yeah, if you guys have suggestions on who we should raid, put those in chat. Congratulations, Hank. 21:57. That's no
Is it good?
No slouch of a time. That puts you in the top 35 of like 80-some guests. So
Oh, that's not bad for never having.
absolutely. You
done that
represented
before.
biology well.
All right.
And you gave Jonathan Dennis some heads up on what he's to expect. But yeah, congratulations. Thank you for the delightful conversation, Dr. Bass and Dr. Hansen. Contra says thank you.
Thank you.
We
Thank
do
you for
first names
joining
on
us.
this stream. We're casual on this because yeah, we're relaxing, hanging out, drinking, talking science, doing the best we can to enjoy our Wednesday evening during the summer. I like doing this during the summer. It's just so much more relaxing. So I'm
Down to the
glad you
last
said
one. That was it. Oh, I got one more, and they're getting really low.
There it is.
Oh, I hit the wrong button. Gotcha.
Yeah, I like that arcade joystick. That's surprising.
That's pretty good, yeah.
It's a nice controller. It's
Game
like
over.
$30 for one of those.
That was
which is
quick.
crazy. Another quarter.
Yeah.
That's how they do it.
All right.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the end of the stream. It's 10:58. We're perfectly on time. Hank, you were fast on beating NARC 21:57. Congratulations. We allocated 30 minutes that we clearly didn't need. But no, thank you for coming out. Thank you for your congratulations on your victory on Bugdom as well as NARC, a reasonable time, as well as thank you for saying yes and joining me for the conversation. And some rumbucha, kombucha plus rum was a good time. I appreciate it. Introduced a lot tonight. So, Hank, any parting words for the audience?
No, other than genetics is cool. And if you want to come see some crazy corn, come out to the field. I'll show you out at Mission Road. Look me up, send me an email. I'll give you a tour. We have a bunch of plants growing this year. We have about 3,000 or 4,000 plants out there this summer.
Wow.
All different varieties from all over the world.
So you have like an experimental research section, and then you have the
plot.
maize section as they're separate things?
No, this year it's all research.
Okay.
But we are growing a variety of different genotypes for the research.
Crazy corn equals crop circles?
Yeah.
Have you tried instilling crop
No,
circles? Does that influence?
Crop triangles would be better. Yeah.
JHD, PhD, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the comments and bringing the students here. The young, what is it? Young
Scholars Program.
Young Scholars Program.
YSP,
So,
yeah.
No, that's awesome. Thank you, Jonathan. We'll have to have you on sometime in the future. Summer is scheduled, maybe fall or next spring. But reach out to me if I don't reach out to you. All right, everyone, thank you for joining us. It's always a pleasure. Your questions are what make this stream amazing. Thank you for joining us, especially during the summer. Come back in 2 weeks. Our next guest on July 9th will be Dr. Paul Peluso. He's from Family Sciences at FSU. So science is loosely defined, but he's a researcher in this is heavy. Infidelity, traumatic grief, and loss, family couples counseling, and domestic violence. And so we try to do our best to balance heavy topics with, the scientific foundations behind them. But we look forward to having Paul on the stream. He'll be back, or he'll be joining us on July 9th. So 2 weeks from now on Wednesday night. If you guys aren't following us, click the follow button. You'll get notifications about future streams. But check out our schedule either on Twitter or Discord, or it's on the About Us page on the Twitch page. So go ahead and check those out. But yeah, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Hank, thank you again. This has been a lot of fun. I've learned a lot.
My pleasure.
And we beat some video games tonight, so it's a victory all around. All right, stick around. We're going to raid somebody educational related. Not too many people on, but we're going to do our best to find someone. But thank you all. Thank you for joining us. It is always a good time, and we look forward to you joining us again in 2 weeks. Until then, we'll see you guys later.